met you in the morning, summertime. The skies were warm and golden, mid-July. I dove into the blue in your eyes. I'm holding on to you, yeah. All of the nights in my room were lonely, and all that I wanted was you to hold me. I lay here and talk to the moon. She told me I should never let you go. Close your eyes, stay the night. I keep falling by your side. Watch the tides hold me, darling. All that I wanted was you. I know that you're feeling it too. Close your eyes, stay the night. Hold me, darling. Hold me, darling. Hold me, darling. You took me to the ocean, 2 a.m. The air was cool and golden in the end. I'll hold on to the sweatshirt that you left. I'm holding on to you, yeah. All of the nights in my room were lonely, and all that I wanted was you to hold me. I lay here and talk to the moon. She told me I should never let you go. Close your eyes, stay the night. I keep falling by your side. Watch the tides hold me, darling. All that I wanted was you. I know that you're feeling it too. Close your eyes, stay the night. Hold me, darling. Hold me, darling. Hold me, darling. Close your eyes, stay the night. I keep falling by your side. Watch the tides hold me, darling. All that I wanted was you. I know that you're feeling it too. Close your eyes, stay the night. Hold me, darling.
I woke up right side of the bed, I got good views on my brain. Sun shining on my face, birds singing out my name. Got rhythm in this soul, I'm kick drum on the beat. This world so colorful like a purple tangerine. Can't bring me down, can't bring me down, no, not today. Can't bring me down, everything's going my way. Yeah, it feels too good, like a picture perfect day. So bright, so righteous, hug your mama, wanna say praise the Lord, hallelujah. Feel that electricity. So no matter what happens, I'm gonna be happy. Up here on top of the world, you see everything. Daytime, a color swirl, not like a diamond ring. I got feelings in these bones, they know a trick or two. So put down your little phone, I'm calling out to you. Can't bring me down, can't bring me down, no, not today. Can't bring me down, everything's going my way. Yeah, it feels too good, like a picture perfect day. So bright, so righteous, hug your mama, wanna say praise the Lord, hallelujah. Feel that electricity. So no matter Long as I got breath in my lungs when the day is done, I'm gonna be happy. Long as I got breath in my lungs when the day is done, I'm gonna be happy. Long as I got breath in my lungs when the day is done, I'm gonna be happy. Long as I got breath in my lungs, I'm happy. Feels too good, like a picture perfect day. So bright, so righteous, hug your mama, wanna say, praise the Lord, hallelujah. Feel that electricity. So no matter what happens, I'm gonna be happy. Long as I got breath in my lungs when the day is done, I'm gonna be
hearts are beating like you used to. Used to be so numb, but now I'm next to you. You got me feeling some type of way. Was never alone, but always felt so lonely. Was surrounded by, but I was so lonely. But when I met you, my heart turned from stone to gold. And when I'm with you, this feeling I can't control. I never wanna lose this feeling. I'd do anything tonight to lose you. Yeah, I'd do anything, yeah, I'd do anything. Baby, I'd do anything for you.
I'm a renegade and I'm feeling fine. Cutting loose things hard of mine. I'm the real thing, take me on tonight. I'm gonna swing under all these lights so I feel the pressure rushing in. Came out like a diamond, sparkling. I got that red bull blood in my veins. You can try, but I will never be tamed. Oh, I own it and I can own it. I'm the only me and that's how I want it. Let the clouds top, top, top and try to doubt it. Cause I'm a real hot shot and I ain't mad about it. No, I ain't mad about it. No, I ain't mad about it. And I ain't mad about it. No, I ain't mad about it. I don't explain myself enough. I ain't got time and it don't sound fun. They gon' say make it right there, right? Cause I don't care, go wink and slide. Oh, I own it and I can own it. I'm the only me and that's how I want it. Let the clouds talk, talk, talk and try to doubt it. Cause I'm a real hot shot and I ain't mad about it.
What's up, guys? Tony Mueller, I see you. You've been rocking it out, brother. What's up, Wally? I see you, Debbie, Joseph, Roseanne. Enjoying that outside? Looks like a nice outside arena. Kurt, what's going on? Pamela, you ready to rock the house today, Pamela? I see you, Jane. Truste, good to see you. What's going on? Carissa, you're always playing full out. Nicholas, I see you up there rocking with the drums in the background. Hey, everybody, welcome to Secrets to Scaling Workshop. So good to have you here. Listen, let me tell you what today's all about. Today is really specific. I decided to do Secrets to Scaling because Tony and I feel so blessed with all the people that we've taught to be in the knowledge industry, the information industry, the upskill industry, the self-education industry. I don't know what you call it. If you want to put it in the chat what you call it, you let me know. But it's selling your information, selling your experience, selling your knowledge, being online, helping to impact others with what you've experienced and creating success for yourself. You can name it whatever you want. Well, Tony and I have been in this industry combined for over 60 years. I've been in it for 25. And in the last 3, we've been helping so many people. Some of you have been with me since Own Your Future Challenge and KBB and all the pieces we've done. And we've helped so many people go from, wow, I didn't even know this was an industry, or I knew it was, but how do I get in it? We've had so many people that we've transitioned to this industry that are selling courses, selling products, making an impact, or right there, about to go to the next level. We have so many, they're like, okay, what's next? What's next? How do I scale this? How do I turn this into a next level business? So we've been asked so much that we decided, why not do a 3-hour workshop to give you the framework? Now, it's a lot to cover in 3 hours. We have some amazing guests, 2 dear friends of mine that are so amazing. They're not just great at what they do, they're incredible humans. We have Frank and Shanda coming that I promise are going to rock your world, so stay for every bit. We're giving away cool prizes at the end. That's just the ethical bribe to get you to stay. The value of what we share is why you should be here. But what I want to do over the next 3 hours, again, in that lane, this is for those of you that know you want to be in this business, you're already in this business, you're making some sales, maybe you're making decent sales, but you know there's a whole nother level. Now, if you're already making 100 grand a month, I could teach you too, but this is probably not for you. I could take you to a whole nother level. You might get some great, tips and tricks today. If you've never thought about being online selling what you know, and you don't even know what this business is, this probably isn't for you either. But if you're in that window where you know, I see other people selling what they know. I know I have a story. I have a mess that could be a message. I'm in this industry. I just need the skills to go to another level. Then you are in the right place at the right time. You guys in the right place? Let me know if you're in the right place. Okay, and why are we calling it Secrets to Scaling, right? There's a million different names we could give it. And yes, my team just put up, we're giving away tickets to our 3-day deep dive impact accelerator event. We're giving books away. We're even giving a brand new laptop away for your business at the end. So my team wanted to remind me they're just your bribes to keep your butt in the seat, because to win, you got to be here. But I promise the value of the info will be well beyond that, worth beyond that. So back to today. This is about understanding. I want to share this with you. If you're in that swimming lane, if you're in that middle world, what we're going to dive into today is the framework of doing high ticket sales. Okay? High ticket sales. When I even say that word, some of you are like, ooh, I don't know, right? I know all the beliefs. I know all the limiting beliefs that come up with saying, could I really sell something at a higher ticket? What you're going to realize at the end of this 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours, so spend the time with us, is that you're actually doing a disservice to the world by not crafting it. By crafting and creating a low ticket, it's just unpackaging it. The curriculum, the confidence is all built with a low ticket, and how you go deeper with a high ticket. How a high ticket offer actually gets the greatest results in the world for your clients. You'll love doing it more, and it allows you to scale this business in a way you can't imagine. Because listen, I'm guessing if you're here, if you decide you're going all in, you don't want to dabble with this business. Who wants to make this real, make it big, make it profitable, create even more impact, right? So that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to show you how to craft an elegant high ticket offer. What does that look like? Some of you might be saying, I don't even think that'll work what I do. I just teach people how to eat vegan or exercise better or find love and passion in the relationship. I promise all of that will go out of the way. And if you're already selling high ticket and you know it's not mastered, it's not completely dialed in, then man, get your pen out and take some notes. This has kind of been my gig for 25 years. In fact, I want to tell you a story of my first one here in a little bit. But I want to remind you of something about this industry. Yes, I've been in it for 25 years. My partner and friend Tony Robbins has been in for 45 years. I've watched this business grow. When I first started, it wasn't that cool. But you have to remember, self-education is cool right now. It is the new way. It is one of the fastest growing industries in the world. And when I say self-education, sometimes I don't know the best way to describe it. Information business, knowledge business, self-education, upskill, whatever you want to call it, it is really cool for people to share what they know, because people are paying for speed at a rapid pace. I say this all the time, so those of you that are my family, sorry if it's redundant, but how much would it be worth to you to go back and spend a day with your 20-year-old self? Put it in the chat. What would it be worth to spend a day with your 20-year-old self on how to make money, or how to start a business, or how to make sure your love is really deep, or choosing the right guy, right? Or choosing the right soulmate? Or how about your health? Would you have said, hey, stop with the path you're on. You're going to be unhealthy at 55. Or stop working for somebody that you don't love. Don't get sucked into a job because your parents want that. What would you say to your 20-year-old self, and how much would that be worth? That's really what we do. We are helping go back in time for people and give them the bridge from where they are to where they want to go. But today, this is different. This is about how we craft a high ticket offer, maybe on top of a product you already have, or some of you want to go straight to that high ticket offer, and that's what we're going to share. I figured the best way to share this, one of the things I thought today, I was like, when is the first time I ever sold a high ticket offer? And I got to tell you, some of you know my story, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I want to tell you this one little slice of story, this scene from my life. I bought Tony Robbins' course 25 years ago, and it put me in the path to not only shifting my life from what I learned, I wanted to be in this industry. It was like Tony Robbins sold me knowledge, and it shifted my life. I wanted all in. That's where I wanted to be. So I decided to go in 25 years ago, and I stumbled. I wasn't smart enough to be a part of a group like this. The internet wasn't so accessible. In fact, it didn't even exist at a level like this. I wasn't able to join and watch videos and all. I had to figure out a lot of it on my own, and I stumbled. And I failed miserably, and had to do infomercials because the internet didn't exist, and that cost me so much money to get started, all of those things. But finally, I got some momentum. And I was teaching people how to invest in real estate, because at the time, that's what allowed me to go from broke to being, well, doing really well for myself. Wasn't worth $200 million, but I was doing really well. So I was teaching people how to invest in real estate. And I finally did my first live event. It was called The Edge. Now, this is 2007, I believe. Wow, 2007, quite a while ago. And it was my first event that I had done for real estate. And the ticket was $997. And I remember we sold maybe 300 tickets, and that was such a huge deal because, I mean, we'd been selling products and services, but I was creating a next level ticket. We're going to go over that on the whiteboard here a little bit. I was going up the value ladder. Those of you that are a part of my family, you understand the value ladder, right? Those that don't, you'll understand it here in a little bit. So I did this event at $1,000 each, and all of a sudden, someone on my team said, hey, so many people are asking for next level impact from you and accountability, and they want to pick your brain. They're so close to going to another level, they feel it would be valuable if they could spend time with you. And I'll tell you how naive I was. I was like, well, what does that mean? And we went back and forth with my team. I said, okay, how about the day after the 3-day event, I do a 1-day mastermind, and we'll just put 10 people in the room at $5,000 each. And I remember saying it, being like, oh man, and the fear all came in. Why would someone pay me that? Would I be able to give them the value? I'm not a PhD, I'm not a doctor, I don't have $200 million in the bank. All of those same fears that you think nobody else has except you, right? All those fears happened, and I remember thinking, well, how am I gonna ask them? So we just took the people that were registered. Long story short, we emailed them and said, hey, you have a ticket, it's amazing. If you'd like to spend the next day after the event with Dean, and go deep on what your personal situation is to help you alongside of you, it's $5,000. We sold out. Now, I want to tell you something. When that happened, it fundamentally shifted my business. It shifted my perception of this business because there's a few things I learned. One is those that showed up were not only blown away, they got their questions answered. We found a rhythm for them. We were able to overcome hurdles. I got to spend the day with them, but here's what I realized. They became my most successful students. Some of them are still friends with me to this day. In fact, I see 2 of them on Facebook, and they're absolutely destroying it, right? So I realized, oh my God, I was kind of doing them a disservice if I didn't offer it. So number 2 is just that. It wasn't like, oh my God, I have to sell them this. It was like, that particular group was like, I got this. What's next? And if you don't look through that lens of what's next, you're missing it. So the third thing that happened, so not only they became my most successful students, it taught me that people wanted this, that I was doing people a disservice if I didn't offer that higher ticket. The fourth thing was a big game changer because 10 people gave me $5,000 each. It was $50,000. Back then I was excited about that. And what did that do for my business? Next year, when I started to do that event, I factored in the extra money that I would get from the people who wanted that next level, and I was able to put that money back into advertising, and we grew the event to a much bigger event. So a lot of big things come out of it, and when we talk high ticket, and you could tell me if I'm on point here, when we talk a higher ticket, charging $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, maybe $10,000, maybe $50,000, $100,000, when you hear those numbers, those beliefs sink in, right? Like, who would pay me that? Or do people really have money? Or why would they pay me? I'm not an expert. Or my niche people would never spend extra money for my particular niche. I promise you over the next couple hours, we're going to bust all those myths and show you that it's the complete opposite of what you believe, and show you that once those beliefs are gone, it opens up the runway to put this in a completely different world. This business becomes something that you can't imagine. So who's ready to bust those myths and get the framework of high ticket sales? You guys ready for this? All right. So I was trying to think the best way to share it. I'm going to go over to the whiteboard here. And if, again, those of you that have been with me for a while, you understand that I do something called the value ladder. The first time I ever saw this written this way was my friend Russell Brunson. He did it about 5 years ago. He was a part of Russell Brunson was in one of my masterminds. In fact, he cut me $100,000 to be in one of the masterminds I had. So I promise they go at all different levels. While he was in my mastermind, he shared it this way. Since then, I've kind of made it my own and adjusted it. But who's ever seen me do a value ladder? Has ever seen one before? Raise your hand. So maybe 20%. So let me explain this to you. Come on over. What a value ladder is the evolution of your client when they buy a product from you. So I want to give you an analogy. I thought about this yesterday, and it was so, like, I got to share it. Again, if you already get this, this is just a great reminder. It'd be a good way for you to explain it to your team. If not, I really want you to think through this. So my daughter pitches in softball. She's been pitching since she was about 8 years old. I'm the one that catches for her. It's amazing. 2 days ago, she's in 9th grade. She just tried out for the junior varsity team, and she made the team. She's going to be the starting pitcher for her JV team. I'm so happy for her because thanks for the fake cheer there. But she went to this particular high school just to pitch because they have a good team. But I want to share something with you of what a value ladder is. And whether you want to call it a value ladder, client journey, I want to demystify it. I want to take away this feeling of like, ooh, I got to sell a high ticket. So my daughter online, when she was probably 12 years old, finds on YouTube a video that she liked teaching how to pitch in softball, right? It was a great video, some great training. She learned a lot. It was a great way to get her started learning from other people. That's why I said get started. So after she watched a while, she came to me and said, hey, Dad, I see that this guy has a $47 course. Can I buy it? I said, sure. So she gets the $47 course on how to pitch better. Okay? Now, a $47 course is, and this is the stuff we're going to learn, you get all you need. The fundamentals are there, how to stand, how to get momentum, how to throw, how to kick, how to do a 4, how to go to your nose, all these things that I've learned. I get girls pitching now so well. I've been catching for my daughter for years. She got a $47 course, but then she started to get more serious. And she came to me, Dad, and said, I don't know if this is enough, Dad. Is there another level? And we got with this coach, and he was doing, for $200 a month, $200 a month, my daughter twice a week could go to this field where he was coaching about 5 or 6 other girls, and for $200 a month, she could go there. And she went, and it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. She started getting better, and all of a sudden I realized my daughter was taking this really serious. And once we got here at $200 a month, I realized, what's next? Because it wasn't enough anymore, because some of the girls in the group were kind of dabbling. My daughter was starting to take it serious. So we got with him, we got with her coach Dennis, and said, what's next? And for $1,000 a month, now Dennis, twice a week, for an hour and a half to 2 hours a shot, comes to our house. Make sense? Now here's what I want to share with you. This is a value ladder. Who would think that a pitching coach has a high ticket offer? He does. It's $1,000 a month. Could be $800, could be $1,000, could be $1,200, depending on how much you see him. But here's the part that I really want you to understand. Dennis, this pitching coach, doesn't hold anything back. It's not like his YouTube or a $47 course was terrible. This was everything. There's a lot, the same training that was in YouTube is a lot of the same thing he teaches my daughter every single week. You see, the biggest objection, and I know most of you don't need this, but some of you do. Some of you think it's like, do I have to hold stuff back? Or what's the value? The value is in going deeper. The value is unpackaging the wisdom. The value is keeping people accountable. The value sometimes is being a part of a group. See, here, this was going deeper and group accountability. This one was the deepest focus on the results that she wanted. Is it making sense? And do you think I was like, that bastard Dennis, how could he charge $1,000 a month for my daughter? No, I was excited that he gave that opportunity of his time to go deeper. When he's here, he's focused specifically on my daughter. And my daughter, I want to tell you something, her growth between here and here was unbelievable. Completely different world. And this is the opportunity you give and can help other people with your high ticket offer. When you unpackage what you're going to teach, and all of a sudden you have a 1 to 5, a 1 to 10, a 1 to 1, whether that's a coaching session, whether that's a Zoom call, whether that's in person, this is where we unpackage and create a high ticket. Now, you could start on all these levels and go up the value ladder. Some people go straight to the high ticket. It's like the only thing I do is coaching in your house. It's $1,000 a month, right? There's no wrong answer. But this is the part when you see somebody that you know is doing 7, 8 figures. And I'm not saying you just incorporate this and you're rich overnight. I will disclaim that always. What I'm showing you, though, is how this goes to be a real business. Because if you have, let's just say, let's in the chat right now, tell me some of the things, put in the chat what you're going to be teaching. What is your niche? Is it helping people go vegan? Is it health? Is it relationships? Finding true love? Finding inner peace? Life coaching? What are some of the things you're teaching? Oh my God, it's going so fast. Life and leadership coaching, joyful in your 50s, retirement, science, sales, entrepreneurship, encouragement, writing, cryptocurrency, writing your own book. Okay, I'm going to pick writing your own book. It went by so fast, I wish I had the name. But writing your own book. Real estate, improving, life coaching. Look at all these amazing things. Caregiving. I want to use an example here. Let's do writing your own book, okay? Now, before I go any further, I took some notes, and I want to make sure I don't miss any of this. When you create an elegant high-ticket offer, I see all your chats on YouTube, guys, on Facebook, and in Zoom. I get all your cool chats there. They're going so quick, but thank you. When you create an elegant high-ticket offer, I want you to remember that people will feel what's next rather than why this. So would you please write that down for me? You want your clients to feel what's next, not why this. So think if you create something elegantly, YouTube, man, that was good. What's next? Oh, this $47 course, this is great, but I need a little more help. What's next? Oh my God, this group accountability and being with other people, that's pretty cool. I maxed that out. What's next? Could you imagine if you got here and the coach was kind of a bum, didn't show up on time, and then he said to you, hey, I know you're paying $200 a month, but your kid's kind of all right, whatever. But if you give me $1,000 a month, then I'll do good. You'd be like, what the hell's this? Compared to what's next? I know that sounds really subtle. Liz, I don't think you're Liz, but good to see you. I see you going like this, right? Right? But you know what I'm saying, right? Like, I love this guy. And if he had a next level, I'd probably take it. Now, that's just me. But here's the cool thing about someday having all of these is because we can do things for free and help people that may never buy from us, and that's okay. That's called goodwill. That's called karma. That's putting good out in the world. Does that make sense? Who in here has ever learned something free from maybe me or Tony Robbins or somebody else through a podcast, through an Instagram, through a Facebook? You learn something like, damn, that was good. It's just goodwill, right? Some people can get a course and just do it on your own. I got everything I need, don't need help, I'm disciplined. Some people would be in a group. Some people want the whole thing. You're doing different people a disservice if you don't have each of them. So let's go. I'm going to stick with the writing the book. Okay? You can stay there. So let's take writing the book. And I'm going to teach you something that I think you should write down right now. Right now, if you are starting in the knowledge business or you're doing pretty well, I'm going to encourage you to max out as many sales as you possibly can before you move into paid advertising. Moving into paid advertising, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, podcast, it's all coming in your future. It's not about not doing. If you want to get to the size I believe you want to get to, someday you will do paid ads. Maybe you already are. It's a part of the evolution. I would just encourage you before you go to paid, start generating money. There's enough ways to do it through organic methods and online for free. And some of that you're going to be learning today, okay? But someday you're going to get to ads. And let me give you a little secret when it comes to ads. You know who wins? Let me see if there's anybody. Who wins the online ad game? Do you know who wins when it comes to ads and paying for advertising? Consistency. Ooh, Paul wins. And so does Kathy. And a whole bunch of Renz. Nice. I love this. You know who wins? Whoever can pay the most to acquire a client. You guys should write that down. Who wins online is those that can pay the most to acquire a client. Okay? So let's do a little exercise here. I wrote this down this morning, and this is how I do a lot of my stuff. It's in my journal, all highlighted, ready for you. Let's say you teach people how to write a best selling book. Okay, excuse the sloppy writing, selling. Okay, how to write a best-selling book. And you do, remember, you could come in any of these, but I'm going to go through the whole ladder. And you do some cool Facebook and YouTube and Instagram free content. This is how you lay out chapters. This is how you think through your book. This is a good way to title a book. This is the best way to list your book on Amazon. Some cool free information. You guys get that? And I'm sorry it went by so quick. The person who said, you want to teach people or you are teach people to write books, I'm going to lay out your blueprint right now. But it doesn't matter what you do. Think through this. But then let's say you create a $297 just badass course on how to write a best-selling book. You don't leave anything out. This is the part I want to tell you. This is why I believe Tony's been in business for 45 years and me for 25, and we've been able to touch the lives of millions of people. I've had more success than I could ever imagine possible. I have dyslexia, and I'm a multiple New York Times bestseller, and all these cool things. It's because of this strategy I'm sharing right now. Never leave anything out. Don't make it a bait and switch. Don't make it like, I'll sell you for $297, but if you want the real magic, give me more. Give everybody everything. Because when you do, there's a certain percentage that need more help. Okay? So you create the best-selling or the best possible $297 course on how to write a book, and it is magical. And then let's just say I teach something called the wagon wheel of marketing, right? You have all these different ways. This is your offer for your $297 offer. It could be Facebook, Facebook groups, right? Facebook groups and your Instagram and email and friends and YouTube, and the list goes on, right? I call it a wagon wheel because it's different spokes driving to your offer. I'm not going to teach that today, but just think about it. It could be referrals, friends, Facebook group, YouTube, affiliates, anything. You're driving people to get this $297 offer, and like I'll say, utilize all free ways first. Make some money first. Proof of concept. Then you go into paid advertising, right? But let's just say with all the work you've done, okay, you sold 100 courses at $297. So that is $29,700. Amazing. And that is $297 value per client. Everybody getting that part? Right? You do all the marketing, you learn if you're a part of our family, or you get more education, or what you learn here. You are pounding the streets to get as many people to get your $297 course on how to write a best-selling book, and you are so proud of it, you left nothing out, right? You sold 100 of them, which is $29,000, $297 a client that comes in. So let me ask you this, and I want to see it in the chat. How cool would it be if you could spend $100 to get a $297 sale? How cool would that be? On a scale of 1 to 10, how cool would that be? And if you could spend $100 to get a $297 sale, who would spend as many of those $100 bills as you possibly could, right? It'd be like you put $100 in a slot machine. I see your ends, right? You put $100 in the slot machine. You would pull that lever every time you could. Let me ask you this. A scale of 1 to 10. I said 10. Okay. What if it cost you $297 to get a $297 sale? Are you just as excited? You spend $1, you get $1 back? No, look at all the notes. Meh. I like meh. Nina, that was good. Meh, right? You spend $297 to get $297. Let me just ask you something. What if you had to spend $400 to get a $297 sale? Anybody want to be partner with me if I said, hey, Nicole or Stephanie or Mary or Michelle or Tina or Jody or Chris, how about we go partners? I have this campaign where we sell a $297 course. And here's the cool part. We only have to spend $400 to get a $297 sale. Beth Fisher, would you like to be my partner on that? You'd be like, hell no. Like, what are you talking about? It's like you're buying, you know, a vase for $1. You want to sell it for 50 cents, you think you'd be profitable? No way. Doesn't seem to make sense, does it? What if I said, how about we spend $700? Spend $700 to get a $297 sale. Then you'd think I was nuts. You'd be like, I thought this guy Dean knew what he was doing. This is ridiculous. You got to spend $100, right? or do you? Let's watch this math. So now you got $297. You sold 100 courses. But like me with Dennis, some people are going to go through your kick-ass course, and what are they going to say? Put it in the chat. What are they going to say after they go through your kick-ass $297 course on how to write a book? Oh my God, you guys learned so quick. Look what everybody's saying. What's next? So now you could put this could be any price. What if you had a $5,000 4-day immersion class that you could do at your local hotel, you could do at your office, or you're doing it on Zoom. And in those 4 days, you're only putting 10 people in the room. In those 4 days, you're going to take somebody through everything. Everything you already taught them, but you're going to keep them accountable. Just like my daughter being in that group of for $200 a month, we're going to name your book. We're going to lay out the chapters of your book. We're going to write the first paragraph of each chapter. We're going to write the open. We're going to write the conclusion. Then we're going to go through the 3 steps on how to launch your book, how to market, and how to become a bestseller on Amazon. That's going to be a 4-day immersive class. And guess what? If the numbers just hold steady to what I've done for more than 2 decades, about 10% will upgrade. About 10% of people will say, what's next? I want that. 90% say, I'm good with the course. 10%, could be 20. You're going to meet a girl, Shenda something in the other room, that when she helps people go to the next level, it's more like 30%. But I'm going to use something really conservative and say 10% of the people say, yes, that what's next is for me. Let me just ask you, if you wanted to write a book, tell me that doesn't sound appealing, a 4-day immersive event to get your book done. Who would, look at Pam raising her hand, who would want that? Tony, Liz, Vicky, right? Look at all the hands going up. And for those of you on YouTube, lots of hands going up, right? Yolanda, right? Hands up. So let's do the math. If 10% of 100 is how many? 10 people, right? So 10 people, it's $5,000 each, there's 10 people. That is $50,000. 10 times 5 is $50,000. Okay? Now let me ask you something. What is 10% of $5,000? 10% of $5,000 is $500. Because you're doing it with them. You're providing value in a big way, just like when my team was. Just making sense to everybody? But wait a minute. What just happened to my $297 value client, Renz? What just happened to them? They're worth $797 right now, aren't they? And this is where your best students are going to come. They're going to get the best results. They paid for speed. They're all in. They're going to write the book, get it done. And all of a sudden, it's $797 value per client. I wasn't so crazy when I said we could pay $700 a client, was I? But guess what? Out of this, there's going to be, and this is, can I promise you, I love what Tony Robbins says. Everybody overestimates what you can do in a year, and you underestimate what you can do in 5. This isn't about you having this done today and go, oh crap, I'm left behind. Why don't I have a high ticket? I'm such a fool. I'm not doing this at the highest level. Do not. That is the dumbest conversation in the world. All it could do is hurt you. It took me years to figure this out. And guess what? I would do it all over again. I get to impact people's lives for a living. I get to speak to you amazing people on a Thursday afternoon and hopefully inspire you to live into your full potential, to not settle, to crush imposter syndrome, to not stop listening to your husband who loves you but he's afraid, so he tells you to play small. I'm here today. I get to inspire you. See, Yolanda, I see you clap with a smile on your face. It makes my whole day. Everything I feel today, I get to do this for a living, and I get to live a life I only once dreamed of, but it took me time to get here. And all I'm doing is I'm showing you the shortcut so you don't have to figure it out on your own. I don't want you to scratch your head and say, I'm in the knowledge industry, but I'm not making the money I want, because you don't understand maybe this framework, or maybe you understand it and you're not utilizing it. Today is about sparking that interest, giving you a framework, inspiring you to make this the beginning of your journey, not the end of your journey. You guys feeling this so far today? But guess what? We're not done yet. Because over time, it might take you 6 months, it might take you a year to get there, it might take you 3 years to get there. But eventually, you'll have, if you are creating a course on how to write and create a best-selling book, you'll have a $15,000 product. And 3% of the people will end up taking that. What's 3% of 100? It's 3 people. 3 people, if we bring it down here to be even, if it's 3, is $45,000. What's 3% of 100? 3% of 100 is $45,000, but 3% of 100 is what? Is, did I do this wrong? Oh, it's, yeah, 50. Oh, no, 3% of 15,000 is plus $450, which equals, I did this earlier, so I don't have to do the math, which equals 1247. This equals $124,000. And this equals $1,247 per client. Now, what's this 15,000? It's some of the same stuff you put in the course. It's some of the same stuff that's here, but maybe this $15,000 course, it is 4 days with me, 2 times over 6 months, and we are going to write your book together. We are going to get it done, and it's done with you. You are not leaving this course until you have your bestseller done and launched. So some people say, man, I'm inspired by YouTube. I'm going to go figure this out. Cool. Some say, I got this $297 course. That is all I need. But 10, maybe 20% are like, man, I got the course. I'm just not getting the results I want. I need accountability. I need someone to show me how to do this. I need someone to help me name this. I need someone to help me answer those questions. Or when I get mental writer's block, how they help me through it. I'm going to that $5,000 class. And some of you get so close, you go, I'm a writer. This is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. I'm going all in. I want the 15,000 one-on-one immersion, just like my daughter with that coach. I'm cutting the check because I am all in. I'm doing whatever it takes, and I'm going to be a best-selling writer. When we get done, this client, because of high ticket offers, whether this is 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, or 10,000, high ticket offers allow you to impact more people. They allow you to impact more people, while at the same time create more revenue so you can take this business. And guess what happens when you realize this? What was the thing I said before I laid this out? Who wins the game when you grow? Who wins the game? Whoever can spend more, right? So if you have a competitor and your competitor is just trying to sell $297 courses, man, they got to spend $100 and $150 maybe to acquire a client. But you, as you learn this model, as we grow, right now maybe you just have a $297 course, you could spend $200, right, and still be a little profitable. But you get this in play, and all of a sudden you could spend $500 or $600 and still be profitable. And then when you fine-tune it and you start helping people, you start crafting the even higher ticket offer, and maybe you're a year away where you could spend $800 per client and you're still making $500 a client. Who would like to spend $800 and get $1,247 back? Right? All I want to do is demystify when you see people crushing it online, this is how. This is how they do it. And when you think about it, right, this flow of your marketing, and we're going to talk today about, I'm going to share a little bit today on how to sell this through service so you never feel like you're selling. I'm going to show you how to get people to raise their hand and say, I want some of this, right? This is all going to happen today, right? So stay with us the entire time. But I also want you to see this. I teach something for those of you that are new. Raise your hand if you're new to my world, first time you're meeting me today. Good meeting all you guys. It's about half of you, right? So thanks for coming. Thanks for trusting us. Thanks for playing full out. There's nothing more precious than time, right? I know this was free today, but today I want to earn your respect. I want to earn your trust. I want you to say with me, damn, this was amazing. Dean, what's next, right? That's what I want with you. I want you to look back in a year from now, 3 years going, damn, it's so glad I attended that free event because I got this training, I went to this next level, and I'm living the life I'm supposed to live, right? But I teach something called the DOT. And for those of you that are in my family, or part of my family, right, you know what this is. I named finding your niche, basically finding your DOT. Why did I do that? Because I like simple words. Sometimes you say niche, it's like, I don't know my niche. I don't know exactly what I'm going to teach. I mean, I've been doing this for a living for a long time, so I could probably teach that. But I went through a divorce, and I came out stronger on the other side. I'm friends with my ex, and my kids are strong. Maybe I should teach how to do a child-centered divorce, right? It's figuring out that niche for some people. Now, if you're here, I'm hoping you already figured out what you're going to teach. that you're already in this business, or you're damn close, right? Or you're already making sales. But when it comes to your dot, when you're teaching this, your dot to me is just narrowing down what it is you're doing, right? Where people get overwhelmed sometimes is thinking that they're teaching everyone, and you have to know everything for everybody. You see, if I look at Dennis, man, this guy Dennis, my daughter's softball coach, he knows his dot. Could you imagine Dennis just saying, I teach all pitchers from all walks of life at any age how to be better pitchers? Like, you'd have older people coming, you'd have young boys coming to pitch baseball, you'd have you'd have slow pitch, fast pitch. It'd be overwhelming. You know, you think you're teaching everybody, 7 billion people, and that's where we get overwhelmed, right? He's not teaching, Dennis isn't teaching everybody how to pitch. He's not just teaching girls how to pitch. He's not teaching any other slow pitch, or he's teaching younger girls that are heading into high school how to how to do, you know, full speed, fast pitch. When he narrowed it down, the only thing Dennis needs to know how to do is deal with pre and teenage girls and show them how to pitch like badasses, right? That's the only thing he knows how to do, and that's the only thing he needs to do, because there's no 25-year-old guys trying to get into the majors going, Dennis, but what about my fastball? It's like, I have no idea. I teach teen and preteen girls how to do softball fast pitch, right? And when we narrow that down and we identify it, which most of you have, it's why I push that everybody should create a course, and that's why we own Mastermind.com, Tony Robbins and I, because everybody should have a low-ticket course, because it gives you the confidence. It helps you create the curriculum. It gives you the capabilities. It's the foundation. But here's what I want to share with you. All we do with this dot, right? If we're teaching people how to write a best-selling book, you're not teaching the whole world. You're not teaching people that want to do video. You're not teaching people that want to do, maybe it's not just books. Maybe it's nonfiction books, or maybe it's fiction books, or maybe it's romance books. The smaller the niche you get, the more empowered you feel. So all we ever want to do is narrow down what it is we teach, right? My first course that I ever taught was teaching people how to make money with cars, because that's where I started. And I was overwhelmed at first, because I thought I had to teach everybody, and new car dealers and small car dealers and people that didn't want to be car dealers. I was like, I can't do it. And then I was like, nah, I don't know how to teach any of those people. I never owned a big car dealership. I never sold 100 cars a month. So it wasn't teaching the whole world. It was teaching people in the United States, and not new car dealers or used car dealers. It was just regular people who wanted to sell like one extra car a month and make about $1,000 a month. That wasn't for everybody. But that's what I did to get by when I was a teenager, so I knew that better than anybody on the planet. So if I thought about how do I do my KPIs and my SOPs, and how do we put insurance on new car dealerships, I have no idea. Somebody way smarter than me with more money back then had that. But when it's how to flip a car using the classified ads before the internet existed, I was the guy you wanted to come to, because I could make $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month by flipping a car a month. When I knew my dot, what went up? My confidence. I could teach that. So when you know your dot, that's why you got to narrow it down. When you convert this to a high-ticket offer, and this is the part I really want you to hear, just like Dennis, in this course is the same exact thing he teaches here. But this is just more, what? Accountability, right? This is more do it with you. It's more hand-holding. And it could be a workshop on Zoom. It could be a mastermind at your house or at the local coffee shop, right? It could be any personal touch that allows you to feel good by impacting people, while simultaneously they're getting what they need, right? As I put these little things, some of it's getting started, some of it's doing it on your own, some of it's doing it in a group with accountability, and some of it's all about you to make sure you get the results you want. Let me just ask you this. If you wanted to learn to do yoga, okay? The reason I say that, I've literally had yoga on my yearly, the only to-do thing, and those of you that are in my family know this, I see Alexis smiling, the only thing I have ever put in my New Year's goals that I haven't done permanently in my whole life is yoga. I just can't do it, but I leave it on there because I want to. I want to be flexible. I see people doing handstands and stretching, and they seem at peace, and they're meditating while they're stretching. I'm like, that is just amazing, and I never do it. That's the only thing. But if you wanted to learn yoga, remember, price the value of speed. When you don't think you're worth it, I can't wait for our next guest presenter here to come here in a little bit. But when you don't think you're worth it, I want you to think about this. Think of the value of speed versus free. So if I said, you want to learn yoga, Misha, you want to learn yoga, Lisa, I say, okay, there's 20 videos on YouTube that are free. You can go watch them over the next month, and I think you'll be able to figure out yoga. Or you can come to our studio this week. We've got a big old studio here. I have an amazing yoga teacher coming. She's going to spend 4 dedicated hours with just you, and she is not stopping until you understand yoga, till you love yoga, and you have the principles. But it's $200. Be honest. Are you going with the 10, 20 free videos over the next 3 months, or are you coming here to the studio with someone who spends 4 dedicated hours to get you in yoga? You going free or $200? Dropping $200. Debbie, I see you. Nina, I see you, right? I see you. Treste, I see everybody. Marina, Lena, everybody's $200. Look at on YouTube, Facebook. So really understand the value of speed. Why what the heck would someone spend $5,000? Because they want to get their book done quicker, and they know sometimes that doing it on their own, they could procrastinate. They could forget. Some people don't want to work with a group. It's like, I'm going all in. I'm going to be a multiple New York Times bestseller. I'm investing in myself. So I know I've beat this to death, but who feels different, if you're really honest, about a high-ticket sale right now than you did when we first started? Raise your hand or say yes in the chat, right? Okay, come on over here. So I want to bring on a quick guest here of someone that was once like you, was on a free event just like this, and had never done this before ever, and then jumped in with us and decided to gain the capabilities. Get the how, right? The how to get there. And instead of me telling her story, I was going to tell her story, but I'm going to bring her up. If the team has Beth, I'd love to bring Beth up right now. Everybody, can we give it up for Beth? Come on, give it up for Beth, everybody. All right, all right. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Dean.
How are you? It's the first time meeting you like this. I know we meet people now virtually, so pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, Dean. So great to see you. Thank you.
Well, listen, your story is inspiring, and I know we're blessed to have so many incredible, you have so many incredible students that you work with every day that are having great success. But my team spotted you and just thought it was great. And I know they talked to you this week, and I'm so excited to just jump on here with you, because I think as I share this, remember, let's rewind a year ago, 2 years ago, right, where you were. If you heard what I shared today, it might be exciting, but there's a part of your brain that goes, nah, that won't work, right? Did you have those same feelings? Was there a part where you saw it, you wanted it? Because I know you went, if you don't mind me sharing, I know you went through a really tough spot in your life, right? At which we all have had those journeys. And I don't know how much of it you want to share, so I won't share too much, but I know what you thought your life was like with your husband wasn't actually what your life was. And when you found out that there was like a hidden life, it put you in a really tough spot in your life. And I get it, and I feel it. I'm so glad to see that beautiful smile and see your happiness. I saw you smiling on the screen. So I love the place you're in right now. And then just like this training, you found us through, we did the Own Your Future Challenge. Is that how you found us?
That's right. That's exactly right.
So tell me a little bit,
did.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about your journey from there until now.
Sure. Well, you're absolutely right. Quite a few years back, my world was completely shattered. And, I was just faced with this situation where I just did not, I couldn't even find the ground. And I stayed in that space for like 2 years. And at some point, I realized I had to get out. I had what Tony Robbins would call, I had a breakthrough moment. And I just knew that I needed to help other people. I have, my background is actually in counseling. So I just thought, let me take this mess that I'm in, this pain, transform my own life, and then use the skills that I have to help other families that are going through this. So that was kind of my journey. I was Googling how to feel better and how to, get self-esteem and confidence back. And because all that, so much of that is just taken away. And I got this email one day, and it was from the team that was like, do this Own Your Future challenge. And I went, that's me. I just knew it. And I did the challenge, and I've never looked back. It's absolutely changed my life.
Well, thank you for that, and I see that. But I want to get to, because here's what I know. So now just know this. Beth went from that spot to realizing that one of the things, and I know you guys are here, I'm hoping most people know their niche or have decided on this, but sometimes our mess is actually the message we need to be sharing, right? And that was your journey. You were on the other side of a mess. So I know you've created a couple courses, a $67 course and a $297 course. And were you scared to death when you first started creating those?
Yes, Dean. I was petrified. I have 3 courses now on Mastermind, and I'm working on a 4th one already. So I was petrified. I'm like, who am I? I mean, even though I knew I had the skills and I had the passion, it was still this whole new world that I had never been a part of. So it was really, it was a long journey. But yeah, I have 3 courses and working on number 4 right now.
So then okay, so from that journey of, no way, I'm an imposter. Like, I feel like an imposter. Who's going to listen to me? I went through this ugly divorce. Why would people pay me money to do it? All of a sudden, you start gaining the confidence to share what you know, share the breakthroughs you had, build some courses, right? And as people were learning from you, and this is what I hope for those of you that are newer or haven't had more clients, how does it feel to know that you're truly, for a living, you're impacting other people's lives and getting paid to do it?
Oh, well, I have to say one thing. I did not get divorced. My husband and I are actually more happily married today
that is
than
so
we
amazing.
ever were. So
Give it up
I
for
do
Beth
have
and her
to.
husband. I'm so happy, Beth.
Thank you.
That is so good to hear.
Thank you. But yeah, it really was a journey. Dean, talking about the dot today is so important because my original vision was to work with families that were reconciling. And I knew I needed to narrow that dot down to the actual betrayed wife whose world has been shattered. So once I narrowed it down to that dot, everything just kind of fell into place with the courses and the Facebook groups and podcasts and a high ticket offer that I have now.
Okay,
I mean,
so I want to ask this. So first we had to get you over the uncomfortable, like, I'm not an imposter, I can do this, I can help other people, even though it's scary. And then it probably was hard to be vulnerable. You're here right now sharing about a double life, and now you're with your husband, which is amazing, you're happier than ever. Some of that is being really vulnerable. That has to be one of the steps you had to overcome, right? And I applaud you for that, because one thing, I want to share this, guys. I've been doing this for a long time. Your vulnerability could be the greatest asset for someone in need right now. Not all of you have gone through a mess. Some of you play piano. Some of you write books. But some of you went through something that just a little bit of time can transform someone's life. And believe me, vulnerability is one of the greatest ways. So I applaud you. The power of vulnerability is unbelievable. But then all of a sudden, now I have to tell you, Beth has gone through some of our education on high ticket sales. So I would bet to say you finally got your courses up, you're helping people, and now all of a sudden, I got to do a high ticket sale. That fear probably came back again. Is that true?
It did. Of course, it came back in. I was like, really, me? I have but you know what, Dean, when it comes from your heart, and that's what this is for me. It's such a mission now to give people hope, not only to heal themselves, but to give them hope that you can get through this. And when you say selling is really serving people, man, it takes that fear away. It's like, I am going to do a disservice if I don't help people.
Yeah.
And so that fear that was there, when I just worked on my mindset, like, no, I need to do this. I need to do this for her and for the kids and for the family. And that's how I crossed that bridge.
Well, I'm so proud of you. And on my sheet here, my cheat sheet, it says that you just made your first high ticket sale of $9,700 for your first high level client. Can we give it up for Beth? That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you. Yep.
Now, I also want to say, it didn't happen. Beth didn't snap her fingers. She didn't get wealthy overnight. I did nothing. She put the work in. She put the time in. She questioned herself. She probably had people in her life saying, you sure you want to do this? And then to put herself out there and to be vulnerable and overcome imposter syndrome. But here's the thing, what I said in the beginning, and Beth, I know you see this. The world is so hungry to learn from those who've already been there. The barrier of access to people, right? Somebody going through exactly what you went through, that dot that we talked over here. Beth is not trying to help men going through an issue or someone who's trying to find a new relationship. Beth's not helping people that have already decided to divorce. Beth has found her niche of the experience she went through. Like we said, what would it be worth to go back with your 20-year-old self and spend a day, right? Beth is just looking for people that are where she once was. So when you do that, your confidence level, right? Has your confidence gone up because you know what it was? You went from pain to this beautiful smile, right? You went from a relationship that wasn't working to now it's the best relationship ever, right? Taking people on that journey, you're creating that bridge. And I just want to applaud you. I'm so glad we got a stack of people. I won't have the opportunity to talk to everybody today, but Beth, I wanted to applaud you for the journey you're on, the impact you're making. And here's what I want to tell you. That's your first $9,700 sale. During this journey, you're going to over-deliver so much. She will be your greatest student. And what I want to share with you, and I want to share with everybody watching, YouTube, Facebook, Zoom, it is beyond addicting. It's beyond addicting, because when you see the transformation of this woman, your first client, you're going to tweak and adjust certain things like, oh, I think I should extend that 3 more weeks, or I don't think I need to teach that one. I thought I did, but people get that. And you'll start fine-tuning that $9,700 package, and she's going to refer you to someone else, and someone else is going to come in, and it just compounds. And then all of a sudden, when you have 5 of those clients, and 10 of those clients, and 50 of those clients, that's when that money, like we shared on here, can go back into the front, and you start fueling a podcast and a YouTube channel, and you start blowing up your $67 course, and all of a sudden it just becomes a flywheel. And I know you understand business, but that's how this business grows, because you impact more lives, they tell more people, high ticket offer, money goes into the front of the funnel, and more people go up the ladder. Everybody getting that? Does that make sense to everybody? Beth?
Yeah, for sure.
Last thing, what would you say to somebody right now that's on the cusp? They know they need to scale, they need to go to the next level, but they're just a little concerned. They got that little voice saying, not me, no one would pay that money for me. What would you say to them before I let you go?
The first thing I would say is listen to your heart. The answers are always in there. If I hadn't done this, I would not be impacting the people that I am. And I would say, go for it. Go for it. The world needs all of us.
Everybody, give it up for Beth. Thank you, Beth. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. All right. Little inspiration in the middle. Shelly, you like that one, huh? Tony, I see you rocking it out there. All right. So I love hearing those stories. And I have to tell you, for me, the juice, people say, how are you so enthusiastic, so much excitement? It's like, how can you not be when you see somebody like Beth? Listen, I didn't do the work for Beth. What we did is gave her the tools, gave her the inspiration, gave her the roadmap, and then she had to overcome the obstacles. She had to overcome. But collectively, when we can do that, when we go all in, when we burn the boats, when we listen to our heart, not the outside world of the naysayers, man, when I see somebody like Beth, and we have thousands of people like Beth, it's what drives me every day, and it's a gift I wish all of you, I hope all of you can get to experience. Okay, you guys feeling this so far today? We're not even halfway through, so we got lots of great stuff coming. We got presents, we got bonuses to give away, but we got training that's going to tie all this together. If this is a little like out there right now, my whole day, I obsess, if you look at my journal, this whole day is designed to tie together towards the end, so you got to be here for the whole thing. But right now, I want to bring up a dear friend who, just like all of us, had to start someday at some place in time. He started with, can I really sell stuff that I know online? Or can I sell stuff that other people know? Isn't that crazy? Like, who would pay for knowledge? Well, that was a long time ago. and it was a lot of success ago. And I could give you all kinds of accolades, and one of the best copywriters, one of the best writers, one of the best marketers. It's the guy I go to when I need advice on marketing and copywriting. But I really just want to say he's one of my dearest friends in the world. He's one of the guys that him and his beautiful wife helped really anchor my relationship with my wife when we first started dating. He was one of the first guys I went and saw, and he was like, marry that girl or you're a fool. So he was right. And he's one of my dearest friends, and he's here to serve. And he's an awesome dude. Can we please give it up for Mr. Frank Kern? What's up,
What's
Frank?
happening, y'all? Dude, this is so crazy.
Look at that.
I've never been on one of these giant Zoom things before. This is awesome.
Look at that fancy studio you got there. Nice background. Hey, if a mic is that big, it's got to be amazing.
Let me tell you something. That's actual, real cardboard behind me. Right
That
there.
is amazing.
Okay, that is genuine blue cardboard.
Well, it
is
looks
what that
fantastic.
is. So yeah.
Well, Frank,
when
it's
you
been
got
too
it, you
long
got
since
it,
we hung
you know?
out. Thank you for taking today to share. We got an amazing group of people here. When I want to share something with you guys, I know sometimes when something's free, it's like, oh, this is cool. Hi, Frank. Frank never, this is very rare that he does this, and I'm going to ask you, listen to every word this guy says. When I say he's my go-to and one of the best marketers I've ever met in my life, who's done incredible for himself in so many ways, just because this is free today, pretend you're spending 10 grand to spend this time with Frank. I'll give it up to you, Frank. Have a great time, and we'll see you in about 20 minutes or so. Thanks, Frank.
All right, sweet. Yeah, dude. Guys, okay, so I've never been on one of these big Zoom things before. It's so cool the way that that setup Dean has where he can see everybody. That's amazing. So he asked me to come on, and yeah, now I can see his view. That's so crazy, dude. I'm kind of dorking out on that right now. Like, how in the world do you do that? That's so great. So Dean texted me the other day, and he's like, hey, will you just sort of tell everybody a good big picture overview of what it's like living in the trenches of selling high ticket, and maybe dispel some myths. I think that's what you do with myths. You dispel them. Maybe you misspell them. I don't know. So I just wrote a couple of notes down. I don't have a big fancy presentation for you. I have nothing to sell to you. As a matter of fact, I should go ahead and give you my full legal disclaimer now, which is my name is Frank Kern. I have no credentials of any kind whatsoever. Nobody should listen to me for any reason about anything under any circumstances. So with all that disclaimer said, let's get started. I'm very lucky. I accidentally got started selling things on the internet in 1999. And my first seven-figure business was one where I sold downloadable dog training materials. And the reason this is relevant to someone who is considering selling expensive things is that one of the beliefs that we can have trapped in our minds is nobody's ever heard of me. I don't have the right credentials, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So I don't talk very much, by the way, guys. I'm going to lose my voice in a matter of minutes here. I will tell you a story to help you get rid of that belief, because that belief will stop you immediately. Number one, all right, when I had that dog training business, so this is early 2000s, the very first sentence of my webpage said, I am not a professional dog trainer, because I was not a professional dog trainer. I had worked for one of those companies that install the little, electric wire fence thingy with the collar on your dog. It's called a invisible fence. And I worked for another one too called Dog Watch. I was the dude that installed those fences. I wasn't a dog trainer. And so I just led with that. I have zero credentials of any kind. I'm not a professional dog trainer, but I can help you train your dog. Now, that business went on to do 7 figures in revenue. None of it was high ticket. But I was like, wow, okay, it really, no one actually cares whether or not you have credentials, as long as you can help them. So when I hit that 7-figure mark with that business, I just had this weird idea that I wanted to give a seminar and teach people how I was doing it. And I got the idea to give the seminar from a friend of mine named Kurt, who had just done a seminar. And he was like, yeah, I did a seminar and it was $10,000 and I made a bunch of money and it was amazing. And so I want you to understand that I had never, ever done a seminar in my life, number one, okay, like ever. So I've never organized one at this point. I'm not a professional speaker, even still. It is not what I do. I'm one of the most introverted and strange people in the world. But for whatever reason, my brain was like, you should try to do a seminar too. And Kurt sold his for $10,000. Maybe people will pay you $10,000. So I decided to hold a seminar that taught people the methodology that I used to grow my dog training business. All right. For $10,000. Now, not only did I not have a reputation at the time, but what little reputation in the online business community I had was slightly tainted, because 2 years prior to that, I had been sued by the United States Federal Trade Commission for violating advertising regulations, which is embarrassing enough. But what's even more embarrassing is I didn't even know that there were advertising regulations. And I didn't know that the Federal Trade Commission even existed until I got sued by them. So if one of the mental blocks you have is, well, nobody's ever heard of me and I don't have the right credentials and all of this kind of stuff, hopefully this story will help you, because I not only did I not have the credentials or anything, but the only reputation I had was the guy that got sued by the Federal Trade Commission because I didn't have the right disclaimers on my webpage, which was very embarrassing and made me feel stupid, but also taught me a lot. So nonetheless, I proceed forward and I offer this $10,000 seminar to the tiny little mailing list that I had. Now, this is 2005 or something. And in trying to sell the seminar, all I did was demonstrate how I was making my dog training business work. And this is a very important principle. So just kind of write down, if you're taking notes, the word demonstrate. It is one of the most powerful ways that will allow you to sell things for higher ticket. So my whole pitch was basically, here's how I'm doing it. This is how it works. And if you want me to help you do it, it's 10 grand. I built up, a little bit of anticipation around the event. I decided I was only going to teach 35 people for the first try, because I'd never done one of these things before. Long story short, I had 37 buyers within 9 minutes of the event being live. And talk about a turning point. I was like, wait a minute, did that just happen? Like, I couldn't believe it that many people gave me 10 grand. And I had no credentials, no real reputation, except for being the knucklehead that got sued and all of that kind of stuff. And it worked out. And it blew my mind, And so I guess the very first thing, let me get my notes over here, that you can take away from that is, it doesn't matter if no one's ever heard of you. It doesn't matter if you don't have credentials. Now, I've got to be very careful in the way I say this, because I don't want to give you the wrong impression. The reason that stuff doesn't matter is because our prospects and customers do not care about us, which is fabulous, because they are totally preoccupied with themselves. And specifically, they're preoccupied with these things. What do I want? Now, this is in your prospect's mind. What do I want? Which is typically going to be to solve a problem. How am I going to get this thing that I want? And what is my life going to be like after I get this thing that I want? So what I learned during that very first attempt, which was, I thought it was luck at the time, of selling an expensive thing I'd never done in my life, was that nobody cared about me at all, like in the good way. They were just like, oh, this guy can help me. I'm going to give him 10 grand because he has demonstrated he could help me through the sales process. Again, there's that word demonstration. All right. So with that story in mind, and hopefully putting to bed a little bit of this, oh man, nobody's ever heard of me, I've got to have the fancy car, or, I have to have a PhD or the right credentials or whatever. You really don't. Here are the fundamentals that make selling high ticket work. Without these, you're doomed. With these, you're probably going to be okay. So I'll just list them out because I made notes for you. All right. The single most important thing, period, is your ability to get results for the client. All right. That's it. If you can do that, then you can sell high ticket stuff, assuming that, there is value in that result, right? So that would be the second thing, which is the result that you can get is in and of itself very valuable. So I know there are a lot of, you've probably seen webinars and stuff about how to sell high ticket. And there's all these case studies about like, oh yeah, I have a person and he taught someone how to knit socks and he charges $10,000 or whatever. And anything can be turned into a high ticket offer. I don't necessarily believe that to be true. That has not been my experience. So we got two very, very, very critical things of importance here. All right. Number one, you can deliver the result. All right. Like that's, if you can do that, okay, then you've got it made. Number two, the result itself is actually worth the money that you're charging. All right. So, I don't think anyone's going to be willing to pay several $1,000s for an advanced training on how to chew gum or something. But if the results you're delivering, such as saving a marriage, helping a child out of crisis, growing a business, overcoming addiction, overcoming a health problem, whatever, if the end result is valuable, then there is, to a degree, almost no limit to what you can charge for this type of thing. But the result must be valuable. All right. So it's all about the results. Okay. So those are the first two things. The third thing that I want you to know that, and the reason I'm sharing this with you is to save you time and save you money and save you like mental anguish that I have gone through. And that is this: stuff in a high ticket environment. Okay. Like when you're selling expensive things, stuff does not equal value. All right. So if you're thinking, okay, I like this idea of maybe selling something that's a little bit more expensive. And then your brain says, well, if that's the case, if I sell, like, I'm just going to randomly pull things out of the air. If I sell 4 videos for $100 and I want to sell something for $10,000, then therefore I need to make 40 videos or whatever. And it's normal that our brain would work that way. And it's normal for you to want to over deliver for people by giving them just a ton of stuff, like, hey, not only am I going to give you this, but I'm also going to give you this and this and this and this and this and this and this. When you're selling at a higher ticket, believe it or not, excuse me again for my voice, like when Dean told you this is rare, this really is rare. I spend most of my days in silence by choice. I just like working. I'm a weird person. What can I tell you? When you're selling stuff that's expensive, your buyer, they typically, a high ticket buyer, they just want the dang solution. And the faster they can get that solution with the least amount of trouble, the better. Right. And this is why, you can go, this is a subject that's unfortunately I'm very familiar with at the moment. This is why it's a really easy decision to make to pay a spinal surgeon, $15,000 to zap your back with a little laser and chop off the little herniation on your disc that's hurting your nerve. It's way easier to just write that check than it is to spend 6 months doing physical therapy and doing chiropractic and doing all of that stuff. Incidentally, I did opt for the 6 months because I'm scared of surgery. But what a high ticket buyer wants, my point is, what a high ticket buyer wants is generally going to be speed and convenience and results. All right. So that's thing number 3. So I'm trying to compress, because I've only got 20 minutes with you guys. I'm trying to compress a lot into a little bit of time. So number 1, the result you can deliver must be valuable. Number 2, you got to be able to deliver the result. Okay. That's like really, really big. Number 3, stuff does not equal value. In a high ticket situation, a lot of times the more stuff you get them, the less happy they're going to be. Okay. Number 4 is this, the secret, okay, to all of this stuff is your ability to demonstrate that you can actually get the results. All right. So I like to make this joke, which is, hey, the easiest way to sell stuff to people is to demonstrate you can help them by actually helping them. So if you can go into the marketplace and demonstrate that you can get people results, then acquiring clients, making sales, however you want to talk about it or describe it, it becomes significantly easier. Now, notice during no part of our very brief conversation today, have we mentioned anything about you having to do stuff, to posture yourself in a certain way, or to look a certain way, or to drive a certain type of car, or whatever? I mean, look at me. People, like, I literally just got the guy that runs my company just wrote me and said, these guys want to pay you 20 grand to meet with you for an hour. Do you want to take it? I don't look normal, right? And I'm not. Okay. I'm not like a professional person. I have no credentials whatsoever, but I'm able to sell very expensive things with relative ease because of that one thing, which is the ability to get results and demonstrate that ability. All right. So another limiting belief, and I know I'm just going super fast, but Dean was like, hey man, if you could just help him out for like 20 minutes or something. So I want to cram as much in as I can for you. All right. So another limiting belief that I have personally had a lot and still kind of like get tricked into buying into sometimes is the belief that nobody's got any money, right? And this is a very easy one to fall into, because a lot of times, especially when you first start selling higher ticket stuff, your objections will be around price. People will say, well, that's just too much. I don't have the money. I can't afford it, you know, or maybe you like, most of the people you know might not have any money, or maybe you grew up not having a lot of money or whatever, or maybe you watch the news and it's constantly telling us how horrible everything is and how we're all doomed and everything's awful. So a big limiting belief as well, that might work for so-and-so, but in my world, nobody's got any money. All right. I used to think the same way. So, and I'm also a very slow learner, by the way. Okay. So I ain't too quick. All right. So 2005 or 6 or whatever, I did that seminar, $10,000, sold it out the first time in like 9 minutes, decided to do it again. And then it took a whole 54 minutes to sell it out the next time. For whatever reason, I didn't do anything expensive again for like 5 years because it worked so well, you know, we might as well never do it again. Right. So 5 years go by. And I'm like, you know, I think I want to take on a client. I want to take on a private client. And I was inspired by Tony Robbins for this, you know, because he talks about how he's got, you know, people that'll pay him $1 million a year or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I think I want to do that. But I don't want to charge $1 million. And I don't want to have to work with somebody for a year because I don't want to have to talk to somebody for a year. I'm an introvert. I don't want to do that. I'm a totally different personality, you know? So I decided that I would do this little experiment. And I wrote a sales letter. And the sales letter was not give me money. So I'll get into that in terms of how you actually sell high ticket stuff from a big picture standpoint. Dean's going to take you on a much more detailed standpoint. But I wrote a sales letter, an actual physical letter. And the letter said, I can help you make a bunch of money. It's $100,000. And you have to apply. And if I think I can help you, we'll set up a conversation and we'll talk. All right. And I mailed it to a randomly generated list of 1,000 of my customers because I've been selling stuff about marketing and sales in general for, good Lord, you know, since 2003 or something. So I just kind of said, okay, I'm going to send this out to 1,000 people and see what happens. All right. And I thought maybe I would get one person to apply or something. We had 30, it was either 31 or 41. It was, I know the last number was 1. I just can't remember if the first number was 3 or 4. We'll say it was 31. 31 people applied for that. And I was like, really? Okay. So I called the very first one that I got, and they immediately, within 30 minutes, wrote me a check for $100,000, with the contract being the fee is $100,000 plus 5% of gross sales based on the stuff that I build for you. And it was the easiest and fastest high ticket sale I've ever made, which just so happens to also be the highest ticket sale I've ever made. All right. So they are out there, the people who can afford to spend money with you, assuming that, you know, you're selling stuff that is of significant value. Again, you know, if you're in the bubblegum chewing niche or something, there's probably not a lot of people willing to spend a lot of money on how to chew gum better. I know that's the most ridiculous, example ever, but you get the point, right? So that was the easiest sale ever that I've ever made, by the way. And that client ended up paying me just a hair over $500,000 in royalties and stuff, which was crazy, right? And so I started wondering, like, why did that story work? Okay, or not why did that story work, but why did that offer work so well? Why did I get so many people trying to pay us? Incidentally, the other applicants, I could only take one private client, but the other applicants, I sold 10 of those into a $10,000 a month consulting arrangement. I had never done consulting in my life, by the way. And I told them, I was like, I've never done this before, but the $100,000 thing, I've already got somebody, but you can pay me 10 grand a month and I'll talk to you a little bit if you want. And I sold it. So here's what made it work. Okay. And this is really the magic formula, if there is to be one, the magic formula. You know, the letter made this offer to them. It said, I can help you grow your business significantly, and I'll do all this work for you, yada, yada, yada. The fee is $100,000. However, if you do not get 3 times that amount of money back in sales as a result of working with me, and I think I said over the next 90 days or something like that, I will not only refund your money, I will also give you an additional $25,000 as my way of apologizing for wasting your time. So let that sink in for a minute of how hard that is to say no to. All right. That's a really, really difficult offer for somebody to say, I'm not interested in that, because it's such a low risk. You know, I'm the one taking all of the risk. So I looked at that sales letter and I was like, okay, wait a minute. Maybe there's some sort of magic in doing this. And I have used that type of offer to get people into a high ticket sales process ever since then. All right. Our most recent one was, I had an ad agency. I don't anymore because it's a lot of work and very little net profit. And I didn't want to work that hard. But our offer was very simple, which was, you will make significantly more than you pay us, or we will refund the difference plus an additional 20%. The phones rang off of the hook. All right. So if nobody has ever heard of you and you don't have any credentials or anything like that, but all right, you can, number one, actually deliver the results. Okay. And number two, demonstrate to your marketplace, to your prospect, that you can, in fact, deliver those results to them, then you have essentially an unlimited amount of opportunity to get high ticket sales, high ticket clients, high ticket customers, however you want to describe it. That really and truly is the magic formula. So let me look at my notes here. Okay, there is another belief that I want to help you overcome, and then I'll kind of walk you through the specific steps, but on a really higher, 30,000 foot view of how to get clients. And I think I'm good on time. I feel like I got to hurry, so y'all, like someone on Dean's team to say, dude, move on or whatever, if I'm taking too long. Okay. Here's another belief that I had, and that I know a lot of other people have had, because I've worked with over 82,000 customers over the course of the last 10 years alone. So it's very common. And the belief is this: it's going to be way harder to sell something that's expensive. And in fact, the opposite is true, assuming, all right, that you have demonstrated that you can help, that they want what you have, and they already believe that you can help them. If those three things are true, then it's significantly easier to sell something expensive. And here's why. How do we sell low ticket stuff? Things that are whatever, like under $1,000, let's say. Typically, it is sold by someone seeing your webpage and reading your sales letter or watching your video or whatever it may be, and then they fill out an order form. To get a total stranger to put their credit card into an order form without ever having spoken with you, just as a result of having read the words that you have put on your screen, is a billion times harder, all right, than talking to them on the phone or over Zoom and answering their questions when they're already coming into that conversation, knowing what you sell, already liking you, already believing that you can help them. Doesn't that make sense? Right? So it's actually significantly easier to sell a higher ticket thing if you have the sales process right. Okay. So with that, I'll walk you through the big picture steps in terms of how to actually build this type of, I don't want to say build this type of business, but build this type of offer into your existing business or whatever it is you might do. All right. So thing number one, if we accept the fact that you can, in fact, deliver results for clients, what this means is that you're unstoppable, right? Because very few people can, incidentally. So the very first thing you want to do in order to attract people to you is to make, in your sales process, you know, the thing that's used to get people to ask for a conversation with you, is make a giant guarantee claim, such as, I will make you this much money, or I'll pay you $10,000, you know, or you will definitely lose 30 pounds, or I will pay you double your money back. Any type of just absurd guarantee like that. That's step number one. Now you got to be able to live up to this stuff, incidentally, you know, obviously. So that's step number one. Step number two is you don't try to sell them your stuff on the internet. All right. The purpose of your entire internet presence is to do two things: to demonstrate that you can help them, and I'll talk about that in a minute, and then to make that guarantee and ask them, or rather get them to ask you for a free consult. All right. So I can help you make tons of money. And I'm so confident that if I don't help you make tons of money, I will write you a check for $25,000. Like, that's that type of guarantee. All right. So now they are going to apply to talk to you, and you're going to ask them qualifying questions during that process, like whatever the types of qualifications need to occur in order for you to know you can get results for them. You know, so in my process, it's basically been, do you have a business? Do you have a thing to sell? Do you have a database of people that you can sell it to? Do they like you? And, you know, if someone's got all of that stuff, then chances are I can help them. If they don't have that stuff, I'm not going to talk to them ever. Right. So another big thing that'll jam people up on selling expensive courses is this belief that, oh my God, now I'm going to be chained to the phone. And the real magic, and this is even more of a positioning thing, and Dean can explain it to you, you know, in greater detail about psychology and positioning and everything. But the more difficulty that someone experiences in actually being able to talk to you, the more pre-sold they will be by the time they ever get to talk to you. So the formula is this, all right? There's get attention through demonstration, which we'll talk about in a minute. All right. But then you've got the attention, and now they're seeing this offer, which is, I can get you the result. And I'm so confident that if I don't, I'll give you, you know, X amount of dollars, triple your money back, whatever it is. Like mine was, it's $100,000, but if you don't make at least 3 times that much, I'm giving you back your $100,000 plus an extra 25. Irresistible offer. Right. So that's thing number one. Thing number two, make them jump through some hoops to be able to talk to you, because you don't want to talk to everybody. And thing number three is only talk to the people that have the qualifications that, yes, I can deliver results for this person. That's the single most important part of this equation, is the ability to actually get them the results. So now when you're actually speaking with them, you know, Dean can teach you all kinds of cool stuff in terms of what to say. But the main thing you're looking for is whether or not you can definitely help them. And once you uncover the fact that you definitely can, getting the sale isn't very difficult, because you're so freaking confident you can help them. You're like, yes, I can absolutely, definitely help you. There's no problem. So the final question that would be, you know, and I know I'm trying to pack in like a year's worth of stuff here in a short period of time. The final question is, well, how do I get people to even pay attention to me in the first place. And this is where you use marketing, where you use all your marketing abilities, not to talk about yourself, not to, stand in front of a bunch of Lamborghinis or whatever, not to talk about your certifications, but to talk about these three things. All right. What your prospect wants, how your prospect gets it, and what their life will be like after they get it. That's all they care about. Okay. So let's imagine this is, in a Facebook, Instagram, social media context. All of your content is only ever about those three things, with a heavy emphasis on here's how to get it. All right. So if you have a total stranger who's just stumbled upon your stuff and they start consuming your content or whatever, and it's genuinely helpful to them, and you're teaching them stuff, just like hopefully Dean and I are today. He's probably taught you a lot more than I have because I'm trying to rush so much stuff in here. But, the whole idea is, okay, let's demonstrate we can help people by actually helping them. And maybe as a result of that, we will earn their trust. So the idea is your content is always about those three things, with a heavy emphasis on how do they get what they want. And the way to, and then I'll end on this because I know I'm just like fire hosing at you guys. The way to really do that and to figure out, okay, exactly what do I say, is something I call the results in advance method. All right. And this has served me well for 20 years. It's made me more money than anything I've ever done. It's just doing this over and over again. So what you do is you get a piece of paper out. On one side, you draw a frowny face. On the other side, you draw a smiley face. The frowny face represents where your ideal person is now. The happy face represents where they want to be. And then you want to draw 4 big lines, like one line that connects them, and then like 4 big lines. And each one of those big lines represents a milestone that they must go through in order to get to that destination, right? So if our destination was, I'm in terrible physical condition and I need to lose 50 pounds and add on some muscle, step number 1 might be, get enough sleep. Step number 2 might be stop eating so much sugar. Step number 3 might be drink a whole lot more water. And step number 4 might be do this exercise routine. All right. Now, if you're constantly putting this out there into the marketplace of prospects that you want, some of them are going to pay attention to it and actually do it. And the closer that your content gets them to that end goal, their desire for that end goal itself begins to increase exponentially, as does their trust in you. It's almost like if you've got someone who's really hungry, right? They're just like starving. You know how you get like when you're so hungry, your nose gets cold and your brain doesn't even work anymore. They're at that phase. And so that's the frowny face phase. And then, your phase number 1 is they smell something that's really good. Like let's say you've got a restaurant and they smell the food. They're like, man, that food smells good. And phase number 2 is they see a picture of it and they're like, man, that looks really good. And phase number 3 is they get a little sample of it. By the time they've had that sample, you could be the worst waiter, the worst restaurateur ever. You could have the rudest staff in the world, but they're hungry. They know the dang food's good. They're going to go there and eat because they're that close to it, right? And so that is really the in the 20 years and 20 minutes type of thing, in a nutshell, exactly how you sell high ticket stuff. And exactly what you don't need to be worried about, which is the credentials and the have they ever heard of you thing. And in short, and I'll end with this, when you make this decision to sell higher ticket things, and really I think this decision should be made regardless of what you do, your entire business presence becomes about one thing, which is the customer, and more importantly, what they want and how they get that. Never about us, never about our accolades, never about our hobbies, our opinions. Nobody cares. That's why you can look like me and still have people write you big checks, because all they care about is, can this person help me? And if you demonstrate it and they see it with their own 2 eyes, you don't have to make the big crazy promises. You don't have to be obnoxious. You don't have to make the big crazy claims. You just let human nature take its course. So hopefully, I have no idea how long I talked just then, but I hit all the marks I was supposed to. Our timing is right. So I don't quite know what to do at this point.
I'm back, Frank.
Oh,
What's
look,
up,
there you
brother?
are. Okay, cool. It's so crazy doing this. This
You know
is
what?
really.
We should have just let you sit there for like 3 minutes. That would have been. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, dude.
I would have done the detachable thumbnail. I'd be like, look, it's detachable. It's coming right off. Works every time.
Frank, listen, everybody's giving you so much love in the chat. Thank you so much for taking the time. And when Frank says he never does this, he never does this. I'll tell you what Frank never does. If a FedEx man rings the doorbell more than twice, Frank still won't go to the door. So to get Frank in public with all of us, to come out of your cave, no, kidding aside, man, thank you. The chat was amazing. You shared so much. I know you packed about an hour's worth of training in 30 minutes. So thank you. It's really a treat to see you and spend time with you. And we got to get together in person.
If we must, sir. All right, y'all. Thank you very
Everybody,
much
give
for
it up
anyone
for
who
Frank
said nice
Kern.
things.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks, y'all. Take it easy.
All right. Listen, I don't know about you guys. I took so many notes, and we probably should have given Frank. We're trying to fit it all into like 3.5 hours. Don't go anywhere. We're not even halfway through yet. We got some amazing stuff, and I have something really important to share right now. But before, I just had to go through some of the notes with Frank. Don't you love his honesty of when he first started, had no idea what he was doing, didn't have a clue, didn't have any guidance, got himself in a little trouble. It was the silliest thing you could ever imagine, but it taught him a lesson. Then he went out and started learning from other people and went to a whole nother level. But I wrote some key things. I'll get to what I want to teach here in a moment, but I wrote some key things. He started with, you got to be able to deliver the results, right? Isn't that a cool, do you see how when you meet successful people, at the end of the day, it's always about the person, right? You know how you take your fear away about talking on camera this isn't about me today, this is about you. So it's easy for me to talk today. If I was like, am I looking good? Does my shirt look good? Am I presenting good? Is my slides good? Did I use the right words? Did I use a vast vocabulary? Oh my God, you get in your head will spin out of control, you'll go cottonmouth, you won't know how to talk. I'm here for Lynette, who's shaking her head right now, or Michael and Sylvia and Eduardo and Ellen, right? I'm here for you guys to deliver today and help decipher some of the things Frank just said, right? Number one, can you deliver the results? Is the result actually worth it, right? Tony, now Frank teaches people how to market better, make more money in business, but it's the same. Can you deliver the results and help the relationship, lose the weight, go vegan, do yoga, pitch better? My daughter pitches exponentially better since she started one-on-one with Dennis. There's not even a question. She throws a curveball so good that when I go to catch it, I've started to miss it. In fact, I think I'm like 6 months away from having to get someone else to catch for her. She throws 50 miles an hour at 42 feet. She already broke my toe and broke my foot. True story, right? She's doing so well. She's getting exponential results. I feel fortunate that I can afford $1,000 a month, but I would pay more if there was another level because she's gotten so much. Does that make sense? He demonstrated it. You know how he demonstrated it? He's got a whole bunch of girls that play high school and went off to college. So he gets to demonstrate, hey, when they work with me, they get a full ride in college, right? So it's the same thing. It's not just talking. It's about, my wife said something when I first met her. She said, I don't like people that talk about it. I like people that are about it. Like, don't talk about it, be about it. That's what she used to say, right? Number three, it's not about selling a ton of stuff. Did you guys catch that one? It's not about, oh, this is expensive. I got to do more. I got to produce 500 videos. No, you have to produce the results. Think about, I know I go back to this silly analogy. The time to go through a $297 course, or the time to be a part of a $5,000 training in my mythical How to Write a Book, or the $15,000, it's probably a lot of the same time, but one is more focused on hand-holding, getting the results, and getting there faster. Remember, everybody said they'd rather pay $200 to learn in 4 hours yoga than free? So it's not that you can't produce more and more stuff, but make sure it's results-oriented. High ticket buyers want speed, right? They want more because they want the solution and result. And then he went back to the ability to demonstrate the results in advance. And he said something that was really powerful, and that's what I want to share right now. I want to switch gears here, and I want to talk about selling high ticket. And I'm going to do something in 15 minutes, so stick with me, maybe 10 minutes, that I hope changes your thoughts on this for the rest of your life. if you're meeting me, about 25, 30% of you meeting me for the first time, I believe selling is service. If I can help someone go faster, if I can help someone fix the relationship, lose the weight, go faster, be in the knowledge industry, create high ticket, if I can, I'm doing people a disservice if I don't help them, and I'm doing a service if I've obsessed on their transformation, right? If I can really help people, which I've been blessed, there's a lot of my family in this group. I call them my family. It's a part of our community that we've been able to get so many incredible results. I see Alexis and so many others in here. That to me isn't selling. I would be doing them a disservice if I didn't get Beth to work with us and other people, right? But I want to take it to another level when it comes to high ticket. And I want to share something. I thought about this yesterday. But when we think about selling, I want you to shift as if it's helping a friend. I know that sounds a little crazy. Maybe it's a little too foo-foo for you. Some people are hardcore closers. I want you to hear this. If you were having a conversation, I have a process that those that know, I talk about this process of talking to people about where are they, where do they want to go, why do they want it, and how are they going to get there. But I want to share this when it comes to high ticket. What Frank said, get someone on the phone, right? And we're going to talk a little later on how to get those people on the phone, whether it's an application, whether it's you sent out a link in a Facebook, or you sent out a message in a Facebook group, hey, I see you're going through a tough time in your relationship. It's one of the things I specialize in. I'd love to jump on a call, see if I can help you. Or I'd love for you to fill out this piece so we can jump on a call. We'll talk about that later, so park that. Let's say now you're on the phone with somebody. But let's say you were talking to a friend. So Victoria or Nancy, you have a friend that comes to you and says, man, I'm having a really tough time in my relationship. If you were talking to a friend, wouldn't you say, wow, what's going on? Where are you with that? Well, you know, we used to have this connection. We've kind of drifted apart, right? And someone tells you, wouldn't you ask a friend, so where are you? And say, wouldn't the next thing, because you imagine you're talking to someone in a relationship and they tell you, yeah, just the connection's not there. We're sleeping in different rooms. I'm so sorry. Where would you like to be in that relationship? I'd like to have the spark back. I'd like to have a little flair. I'd like to get dressed up and him look at me and see the woman that I am. I think I got lost being a mom and having a job and trying to juggle all these things. I want him to see me for the woman I am. And it's like, that's amazing. So you know where you are losing that, and you know where you want to go in that relationship. Why do you want that? Wouldn't you ask a friend this? Am I just sharing? Wouldn't you ask a friend if you're having a conversation, if you're trying to help him? So why do you want the intimacy back? Because I want to feel alive again. I want my kids to see their mother and father connected and holding hands and flirting. Wow, that's good. If you know where someone is, like Frank said, and you know you can help them, if they explain to you where they are, and they explain to you where they want to go, and then they open up their heart on why they want it, you see, that's the moment where you get to decide, well, I don't think I can help them. Let me just be a good listener. Or hell yes, I could get them results. Because if you know where you are in life, and you know where you want to go, and you know in your heart why you want it, the only thing left is, how are you going to get there? You need the capabilities. You need Beth to help you through the journey, or Frank to help you in marketing, or Dennis to help my daughter with coaching, or the gentleman who said he was doing books, right? When you think about a high-ticket offer, it is a conversation with a friend, right? If I was on the phone selling a $15,000 high-ticket offer, I wouldn't think, oh my God, I need the perfect pitch. I need the perfect slides. When do I ask for the money? What I would think is, wow, I want to get to know this person and see if they fit my high ticket offer. I would just simply say, hey, so where are you when it comes to writing a book? I've been wanting to write a book for 20 years. I got this idea. I got this vision. I just don't know where to start. I've tried a whole bunch of times. I crumple up the paper. I throw it in the garbage. I'm done with procrastinating. I want to write a book. So now I know where they are. Where would you like to go? If it was a year from now, it was the best year of your life, where would you like to go with writing a book? Oh my God, I want to get my ideas out on paper. I want to see 200 pages done. I want to go on Amazon and put my name in and see my book and see that little bestseller next to it. Wow, that's a great dream. So you've been wanting to write a book, and that's where you want to be. Why do you want it? You know, my dad was a writer. And I think everybody looked at me as the one that didn't know how to write. And I just want to prove to the world that I could be a writer. Raise your hand right now, or put it in the chat if you could have a conversation with somebody like this about weight, about their relationships, about writing a book, about selling, about life coaching, about entrepreneurship, about marketing, right? Where are they? You know why they want, you know where they want to go. They want to be a bestseller on Amazon and have a book published. You know why they want it, because they've had this passion since they were a little kid, or they want to show their family. The last thing left is, okay, you're here. You want to go here. I know why. If you can help them, then you are ethically obligated to then say, hey, I have the capabilities to help you get there. I've helped people before. I've done my own bestseller campaign. I am the how. I'm the capabilities. We got 5 spots in our high-level program, and this is what we do. We help you name it. We help you write the chapters. We help you get the cover. We show you how to publish it. We get you on Amazon. We'll show you the marketing to make it a bestseller. We'll get X amount sold. We do that all in 4 days. It's complete immersion, because I know where you are. I know where you want to go. This 4-day event is exactly what you need on how to get there. But can I ask you something, guys? Isn't that a relationship you'd have? Isn't that a conversation you'd have with a friend? I think we take sales and we put it in this way. If you talk to Beth, Beth didn't do a lot of the stuff that Frank Kern did. She followed this method and finally got someone on the phone and said, hey, where are you with your feeling of internal loss? Where would you like to feel as a woman? Why do you want to feel that way? Wow, I've been there. I'd like to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. Would you like to be a part of my $9,700 30-week program? And she said, yes. I'm not trying to simplify this, Joseph or Carol or Terry, and say all you got to do is get someone on the phone, have a little conversation, and the money comes rolling in. If you know anything about me, if you know anything about Tony, my partner and dear friend, it's not about that. It's about being a part of an industry where you get to impact people's lives for a living. You get to help them go faster. And if you're going to be in this industry, you're going to need to scale. You're going to need to be able to create revenue and high ticket offers and create high impact and get results for people. Demonstrate results in advance. Make it about them. Produce the results that they want, and guess what happens? They refer their friends. They get more people to come. You gain the confidence. You understand that you can do it. I promise you what I shared with Beth. She sold her first $9,700 ticket. She's going to dominate, and she's going to learn, oh, I can adjust this. I can make this look better. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I should do twice a week, not once a week. Or I should do once a month, not just once a week. And all of a sudden, she'll fine-tune it, and the next person she sells, she'll sell with more confidence. And when she changes that person's life, she'll sell with more confidence. Do you see how this is going, guys? Do you understand this? This is how it goes from selling a course or selling a workshop or selling a coaching call to being in the coaching business, or being in the course creation business, or being in the workshop business. Do you guys, my whole goal today, and we're not even close to being done, is to allow you to go from, I could sell a course to, no, I can make this a thriving business that can go to another level. I will never promise you'll do 7 figures in 7 months. I'll never promise anything, because I don't know your work ethic. I don't know if you're just here today inspired and then tomorrow you go and you never look at this again. But if you're someone that can follow, if you're someone that can gain capabilities from someone who's already been there, if you're ready to go to another, who's ready to launch or scale their high ticket sale? Who sees this and feels it? Right? All it is part of the journey. All it is learning the skills and capabilities from people who've already been there. So here's what I want to ask you. I want to ask you this. Where are you, and put it in the chat for me, where are you when it comes to high ticket sales? Is it something you need to do, something you want to do, something you're already doing that you need to do better? Right, so where are you when it comes to high ticket sales? Is it something you're just hearing today? Is today the first day you see yourself like, I could do that? I saw Dennis, your daughter's coach. I get that value ladder, right? Some of you are going to start with a low end and go to a high end. Some of you will go right to the high end. I want to do it. I need to do it. I'm already doing it. We'll do it better. Want to do it on the next level. I need to do it, right? So all change, listen, remember this, all change starts with being honest with yourself, right? I procrastinated in the past, but I'm not going to procrastinate anymore. I was afraid in the past. I'm not going to be afraid anymore. I didn't think other people had money or people would pay me. I busted that myth. Being honest is how all change starts. So if I ask you where you are when it comes to high ticket sales, the next question is, where do you want to go with high ticket sales? So where do you want to go with this business? I'd love to see it in the chat. Is there a certain amount of money that you'd like to make every month? Is there a certain amount of impact you'd like to make with others? Is there a job you'd love to just totally quit, or a business that doesn't serve you anymore? Or have enough time to be with your grandchildren, your children, your spouse? if you know where you want to be by creating, if you know where you are, the next thing is to really visualize. Pretend it's a year from now and high ticket sales are crushing. What does that look like for you, right? Impact 7 million. I want to stop driving Uber, right? I want to quit my job. I want to take this full time. I want to go to another level. I want to do what I love. I want to spend time with my family. I want to know how it feels. I want to solve other people's pain. I want to impact other people. I want to take it to the moon. I want a TV show. I mean, look at all these incredible, when we know, we must go into our heart, right? Because then the next question is, why do you want to quit your job, go to another level, right? I always teach, again, those of you, you'll get to know me more. I'm hoping that I'm serving you enough today that we continue to work together. You'll know that if we don't evoke our emotions, our heart, and really figure out why you're here, why did you schedule? This is 3.5 hours today. You're taking time. Why are you here? Why do you want to go to another level? Why do you want to quit the job, quit Uber, do $200,000 a month, impact more people's lives? It's deeper than just the money. We all know that, right? For me, it was always, I want to be in control of my life. I don't like people telling me what to do, how to do it. I like coaching Little League softball, bring my kids to school. I wear a gray t-shirt pretty much every day of my life. I like living life on my terms. I didn't feel that way as a kid. It was all over the place, right? I know my why. So why do you want it, right? So if you know why, you know where you are with high ticket sales, you know where you want to go with high ticket sales. If you know with an emotion why the heck you want it, then the next thing left for you is how are you going to get there? What capabilities do you need? What accountability do you need? Do you need to craft your offer? Do you need to have the nerve? Do you know how to sell it? Do you know how to find the leads? Do you know how to craft your value ladder? Do you have to overcome the stupid imposter syndrome that has already screwed you up for way too long? What do you need? Right? I see you, Pam. So what I want to do is I want to give you the opportunity to work with me, to work with Tony, to work with our team, and we want to do something pretty cool. We want to teach you on a much deeper level how to do high ticket sales, and I have a low ticket offer. How funny is that, right? I want to share high ticket sales with a low ticket offer. We've been talking about this for 3 years. For 3 years, because our family is growing and they want to go to another level. And I do one big event a year with Tony and I, and we didn't want to add another event because our schedules are crazy, and we decided to add an event. And I would love to invite you to be a part of that. We're doing it March 4th and 5th. And if you could pull up this slide, I'd love to share this with you. Now, we got another hour and a half, 2 hours of training, so don't go anywhere. But for those of you that don't want this 3-hour training today to be the end, you want it to be the beginning, this is what we have. We're calling it Impact Accelerator Live. This is our first annual event. Some of you are already in. If you're a part of our family, been to our events, let them know in the chat. But this is an event we're doing 3 days of full immersion. If you like what we're doing in 3 hours, this is over a 3-day, 8 hours a day with a through line. Well, let me just share this with you. Day one, we will design and refine your high ticket offer. So if you already have one, how do we dial it in? How do we narrow that niche down to give you that confidence to be out there to be able to sell it? So that's day one, is design and refine. Day two, now we have some amazing guests coming too. Day two is how to confidently sell your high ticket offer. Now, I'm giving you a little bit, but imagine the process that Beth learned. Beth has gone through our higher level training, right? Understanding the process where you sell through your heart, where you never feel like you're selling again, and you understand how to sell it and how to find the people to talk to. And then day three is how do you deliver and fulfill on a high ticket offer? Right? This is what we do, and it's time for this next level. Whether you're going directly to a high ticket offer or you're going to go up the value ladder, that's what these 3 days are dedicated to. So here's what I want to do. It's hard for those of you who've never been to a virtual event that Tony and I created, because it's different. It's not a Zoom call. It's not a webinar. And this is amazing. I love being here, but it's a whole nother level of interaction. We send you, I'll share what we do. We bring you into our studio. We come in your living room. In fact, here's what I want to do. Take 30 seconds or 60 seconds, play the quick sizzle reel of our last event, the World Summit. This is exactly the type model. Watch this. It'll hopefully answer some questions. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
A 3-day, 40-hour full immersion event with two of the greatest success coaches to ever walk this planet, and that's Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi.
Welcome to the World Summit. You guys ready for a great 3 days?
The one thing everybody has in common, we're like half the people here from outside the country, 16,000 humans from all over the earth.
You being here, you're learning and adapting to where the world is going so we can step into our greatness. Who's ready to step into the man or the woman God designed you to be?
Good for you, but I don't have a superpower. I am going to give you 3 different ways for you to uncover and discover your superpower.
I was like, do you understand what I went through to learn these things for you? Like, if you understood what I went through.
Listen, please don't experience death knowing you settle for less.
You're here. You're ready to do something different. It is not so much the product, because at the end of the day, the product is you. When you have a calling and a conviction on your heart to serve, how dare you silence that voice?
I really want you to hear me here. You are enough and you have enough. You can do this. You just need to know sometimes where to start or where to scale or what to do next.
Times have changed and you don't have to guess. You don't have to figure this out on your own.
You are the designer of your destiny, and you are the author of your autobiography. If no one else gets your vision, it's because God didn't give your vision to them. God gave your vision to you.
Because if you do what's right and you give when it's hard to give, you'll discover your true self. You'll discover that there's an abundance beyond money or time or energy or the fear of the moment. It's your soul. I invite you, my dear friends, go out there and give. Give when it's hard. Give when it's not easy, and you'll be free.
Hey guys, I wanted to give you a little slice to really understand what we do when it comes to events, and that's what we're doing. This is our first annual Impact Accelerator Live, because if you learn how to impact on another level, that means more income, success for you at the same time of everything we've been sharing. Now, we have a lot more to share today, but if you're ready for full immersion, then I'd love to invite you to this event, because we did something really special that's just for the training we're doing today. Pull that slide back up. So day 3 is Fulfill and Deliver, and here's the cool part. You can get an Impact Accelerator Live. This ticket will be $597. That's not what you're going to pay, but you get a full immersive ticket. But we created a package for you that we're doing just for this training. So you get a ticket with all the amazing guests, 3 full days of immersion, put it March 4th, 5th, and 6th. But secondly, we're going to send you event materials in the mail. So we bring the outside world to the virtual world. You see people holding the little stickers. We have a workbook. It's an amazing package that we mail directly to you. Number 3, we're going to do 3 pre-event trainings, the 3 days before, to get you prepped. These trainings are so powerful and they get you prepared no matter what level you're on. So here's the cool part. $1,800 in value. Become part of our social media group as well. You'll have access to that right away. And here's the cool part. You can get the entire thing today. You can grab a ticket for $297 at mastermindticket.com. If you could write that in the chat, mastermindticket.com. This is our first annual event. It's the cheapest we'll ever do it. And this offer, if you guys know anything about me, we do this. We have a day like today. It's what Own Your Future was. So many of the people that were in our world came from Own Your Future. Today, this training is for you to learn from me, from Frank, the team, and go, wow, this is pretty cool. What's next? And I want to tell you, this is what's next. When this offer goes away, this price goes up, and we got something that we put together just for this event. What we're going to do is, as of Monday or Tuesday of next week, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, next week we start the training. We're going to do, if you like this training today, we're going to do weekly training for an hour each day with immersive training to get you prepared for the event. Some of you already have a high ticket offer. Some of you are on the edge. Some of you, I know I need to create it. We want to bring everybody as close as we can to, by the time we get to this 3-day immersive event, you're ready to go. So that's what you have the opportunity to get today. You can get Impact Accelerator Live ticket, March 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's myself and amazing guests. You see like I said, this isn't a webinar. This is a 3-day immersive event, and if you're ready to say, this is not the end, this is the beginning, here's what you do. Go to mastermindticket.com. We're going to take a 5-minute break. Go get signed up right now. If you're in, put in. If you go get signed up, right, I'm in the chat. I'd love to see those that commit to it today. And then we're not even close to being done. We got Shanda Sumter who's going to rock your world. And then I'm going to train you something that I've never shared publicly before that's going to rock your world. And then we're giving away some cool gifts. So mastermindticket.com, you got 5 minutes. Go grab your ticket. This is the only time you'll see this price. Only time you get this course and this training that's going to start on Monday. We'll be back in 5.
Like I'm up on a mountainside, gazing at the night sky, but I'm just looking at like the stars in your eyes. The stars in your eyes. No, I don't believe it. Every time I see it, takes me by surprise. You're perfect light, you're shining on me. You're like a dream sequence. You're all up in my feelings. I see your picture, something triggers. Now you're stuck inside my head. Get out of my head, please. Get out of my head, please. Oh, 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 oh. And whenever I see you, and whenever I see you, my heart beats like crazy. Yeah, 'cause you got stars, stars in your eyes. I know it from the way you make me feel so alive. Like I'm up on a mountainside, gazing at the night sky, but I'm just looking at the stars in your eyes. You're like supernova, a beautiful explosion. I might get burned if I get close, but I'm down to hold you. Send me to outer space. I'm counting constellations. Our planets collide. You make midnight look like sunrise. You do. Get out of my head, please. Get out of my head, please. Oh, 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 oh. And whenever I see you, my universe it freezes. My heart rate increases. 'Cause you got stars, stars in your eyes. I know it from the way you make me feel so alive. Like I'm up on a mountainside, gazing at the night sky, but I'm just looking at the stars in your eyes. The stars in your eyes. Oh, the stars in your eyes. Beautiful and so bright. All the stars in your eyes. Yeah, you got stars, stars in your eyes. I know it from the way you make me feel inside. Like I'm up on a mountainside, gazing at the night sky, but I'm just looking at the stars in your eyes. Yeah. Oh, the stars in your eyes. It's beautiful and so bright. All the stars in your eyes. Oh, you light up the night.
We were floating down the river in your red canoe. You were laughing at my stories, all back from my youth. Yeah, and I remember thinking to myself that you were the one. Oh, you were stunning, you were loving.
up, guys? All right, this is halftime. Who's ready for second half? Let me know if you're in. All right, guys. All right, so we have an amazing guest coming out here in a few minutes. She's going to rock your world. I love her energy. We've known each other for a long time now, and watching her success and watching the lives she gets to impact has been incredible. I remember the first time we met was, I think, at a coffee shop in Southern California. First time we met and just hit it off. That was at least a decade ago, and the transformation this woman has made has been unbelievable, and even better is the lives she gets to touch. Before I bring her out, though, my team tells me that there was a couple questions. I know I went really quick on that offer. I'll share later. I want to get to your special guest and get to some training. But a couple things. Yes, the price is ridiculous. That is a price because it is our first annual event. We've never done this before, and so many people need this. We're in a crazy time. We can all admit, is the outside world absolutely insane right now? Like, I think we can all agree on that. And all of us need hope, and we need capabilities. But we need a real clear path and plan. This isn't an inspirational event. This is a capabilities event over 3 days to learn, complete immersion, how to do high-ticket offers from myself and some of the top trainers in the world. You saw what kind of events we do. So yes, the price is ridiculous. And yes, we made this irresistible. And yes, this price really does go away. When this training's over, this price goes away, it goes up. Okay? So that's an absolute fact. This is the, and you should, listen, we're in the same business. This is the gentle nudge to get you to take action because you've been thinking about it. You've been putting it off. You're trying to figure it out on your own. You're wondering where the blueprint is. How do I go to the next level? This is the answer. So yes, if it seems like I'm nudging you to go, I am, because if you were at our World Summit or you're part of our family, put it in the chat. We don't Tony always says, irresistible offer, and then over-deliver massively, and that's just what we live by. So we're really excited about this event, and you'd be a part of the first one. The training starts, I was off, so just so you know, the training starts next Thursday. A week from today, we'll be back here. If you guys enroll, we'll be back here training. 1 week from today, we'll do an hour each week until the event. Who's this for? It's for people that know and are completely committed to this industry. If you're ready to do this industry, you need to know this. Whether you've had your first sale or not, it's about, if you're just dabbling, if you're like, I might do it, I'm not sure, I don't know if it's for you. But if you're like, I want to do this industry, eventually you have to do high ticket and you have to have high impact. So that's who it's for. And yes, it's brand new. Oh, and lastly, Frank called me while we were on break, and he's like, I want to nudge these people to go because I know how awesome it's going to be. So Frank just added a bonus, which is pretty cool. He understands marketing. He understands ethical bribes, right? He's got a program that he sells called Social Media Ads Made Easy. Social Media Ads Made Easy. It's a killer program. It's amazing. So those of you who get enrolled during this, he's throwing that in for free as well. So thank you, Frank, if you're still watching. Give it up for Frank. All right, guys. So we're only at halftime, so let's keep going here. And remember, today, this is what I want you to think. Today is about understanding the framework. My whole goal is when you're done today, you go, I get high-ticket sales. I can do high-ticket sales. Our event goes deeper on each leg, but this is about understanding the framework and the context around it. But without further ado, I'd like to, in a moment here, bring up our guest. Again, I've already shared our relationship over the next 10 years. We don't talk every single day. I don't know when her birthday is. I don't know when her awesome son's birthday is, but my wife and I admire her. We get to watch each other through social. Every time we connect, it's like we haven't missed a beat, and I think that's true friendship. And we get to support each other from afar. And watching this woman impact so many lives has been amazing. And I can't wait for her to share with you. Take notes. No, again, just because this is free today, you don't get training like this. So please give it up for Miss Shanda Sumner. Thank you, Shanda. Thank you for coming here.
Absolutely. Hello, how are you? You doing good? Fantastic. All right, so you know what's awesome about high-ticket sales is that it takes care of your cash flow. Who's excited about that? You'd like to see some more like cash on a regular basis. That's what really high-ticket sales does for you. So I want to share something with you, and that is I am an accidental entrepreneur. I never meant to become a coach or have leadership programs. I was totally accidental. I just knew in my gut, and some of you guys might already know this about yourself. I knew that I was supposed to become a millionaire. Do I have a couple people out there, like there's a gut? Like it's like you actually know. Go in the chat and let us know. Put an M if you know that you were supposed to become a millionaire. And so I had that gut feeling that I was supposed to become a millionaire, but I didn't know how to get there. And that's what I love about Dean. I love about Tony. When I was a little girl, I used to listen to Tony Robbins, and I didn't even know what a coach was. But you know what I knew? I felt amazing when I listened to him. I felt like I could create something that I couldn't even see yet, like the company I have today. And then Dean is a great example of I spent $100,000 to become friends with Dean. And I believe Russell did the exact same thing. And I share this with you because money does solve a lot of problems. And high ticket sales is something that puts you in a position that cash flow doesn't become a problem anymore. And you can start to rely on it. And the cool thing is that you don't need a lot of people to be able to create this. So write this down. When you work with high ticket sales, you need a niche audience. I'm going to talk to you about that in a second, because if you ever get confused about what's my avatar, like every time I'd be at a workshop and they'd be like, what's your avatar? I'd be like, oh, I don't know what my avatar is, because I didn't really feel comfortable with myself to even make a decision. Anybody else feel that way? And so I started to discover that I needed to find a new path to get there. And that new path for me is that I've figured out over, I don't even know how many hundreds of thousands of people that I've gotten to touch now at this point. We have events with anywhere between 10, 15. We had 27,000 people at one of our events not too long ago. And I share this with you because after touching so many lives, which I know you're going to do, because once you figure out high ticket sales, what happens is it gives you the consistent cash flow. You got to get hungry for a better life and follow the formula. Once you get that consistent cash flow, you want to start to deploy it into scaling, right? You want to start to deploy it into scaling. I'll go through that. But I found that it's easier to figure out who is my niche audience. So how many people are struggling with your avatar right now? Put an A in the chat. Put an A in the chat right now. Like really, truly, like if you were to, okay, so see that? Look at the chat too, because it gives you confidence to know that you're not alone. And that's powerful. And by the way, if you're seeking out confidence, it doesn't come before competency. It doesn't come before competency. So most people feel comfortable with looking at, like, who do you want to serve? So now take the hat off on trying to figure out my avatar, because you're not going to be able to do high ticket sales unless you make a decision on who you want to help. Who do you want to help? Who do you want to help? Now put that in the chat. Who do you want? Just try this on for size for a second. Who do you want to help? Put that in the chat. Women. Okay, keep going. Go in the chat. Let me know. Women, Catholic professionals, mothers, caregiver positions, men with addiction, brain injury. See how your brain starts to come up with an answer? So that's what I call your niche audience. And so you guys who actually jumped into the Impact Accelerator, I want to share with you that I'm going to share something at that event. I'm going to share something at that event that's going to show you how to take not only just a niche audience, but how to put it on fire so that you grow it a lot quicker, even when you don't know what you're doing yet. Even if you're in a position where you don't know what you're doing yet, if you have a niche audience of people that I'm seeing you know, right? Busy women, men and women, okay, general, but like I knew that I wanted to help people in business when I started. I didn't know my avatar, but I also love spirituality. I used to be into A Course in Miracles and shamans and all that. Now I'm Christian. I'm into scripture, you know? And so you start to, like, as you take action, it starts to become clear. But if you start with the group that you know, it makes it easier to make the decision on what you're going to sell. I'm going to repeat that. When you start with the niche audience that you know you want to serve, like the people that you know you already like, okay? When you start with that group, then what happens is they will tell you what to sell. They will tell you what to sell. Because if you start with them, you can bootstrap your way to financial freedom. So when I started, like I said, I was an accidental entrepreneur. I was selling real estate. I did have an incredible encounter. Who are my people who are faith-based out there? You believe in God, you're faith-based, go in the chat and let us know. Okay, so if you believe that there's something bigger out there. So I had a something bigger moment. And I was driving in my car actually from Sedona, Arizona, and I lived in Las Vegas at the time. And I was driving my car to Las Vegas back home, and I thought I was going crazy because I heard an audible voice in my car. And that audible voice told me that I needed to come do this. I was selling real estate. By the way, I also started with a niche audience in real estate. If you pay attention, you're going to hear the same things over and over and over again. When Frank was talking about qualifying a customer, one of those questions was, do you already have an audience? Did you hear that? Do you have a list? Do you have people that you can access? Because the best product in the world without people to access is called broke. And I've been so broke it hurts. Any of you guys ever been so broke it hurts? I've been so broke it hurts, I never want to go back there. And when I figured out what Dean's teaching and Frank's teaching, and I'm showing you right now, is that everything changed. So I'm driving in my car, and I hear this audible voice that I'm supposed to go teach financial freedom. And I'm sitting there going, I talk about putting my foot in my mouth. I said this actually in front of Mark Victor Hansen like a year and a half after that. I said, I don't want to be a speaker. I don't want to be an author. I don't want to be a coach, because I had no respect for that industry, for this industry, which is so funny that God put me exactly in this industry. So sometimes the door that you're pressing on that's saying, I want nothing to do with that, is the actual door that you're walking through, and it's time to let go of the resistance. I'll show you how one of my clients did $1.5 million by letting go of, I don't want to do that. Okay, so because she was burnt out in an industry, but she had all the wisdom. Remember Frank talked about what's the result that you can get for someone? So make sure you don't shut down a door of your wisdom because you're getting in the way of your success. Somebody needed to hear that today. So I'm in my car, I have this audible voice, and I'm thinking I want it to just stop. And so I actually thought I was going crazy. And I made an agreement with this voice, and I said, okay, I will teach people how to create financial freedom, but here's the deal. I never want to hear from you again. And I'll call my friend Robert, who had a big email list. He had a couple 100,000 people on his email list, and I was a student of his. So if you want to fast track to success, become one of Dean's top students. Like, just, you know why? You're going to end up being hot-seated. You're going to end up being a role model for other people. You're going to end up being an inspiration. And you're going to end up just through that proximity, as Tony Robbins talks about, you're going to skyrocket because your network is your net worth. Do you hear what I'm saying? So literally, I called my friend Robert, who I was a student of. And I was in real estate. I did really well in real estate. There was no logical sense for me to skip over here into the coaching world, which I knew nothing about. And Robert said, you know what, I've always thought you should be in this industry. And he gave me 24 hours to create a product. And he said he'd launch it to his email list. Now, I share this with you because I wouldn't have had that opportunity if I wasn't one of Robert's success stories, which was just changing my habits and keeping my word to following through, which he taught me how to do. And then secondly, he didn't give me a lot of time to think about it. So you guys are like on the fence, should I jump into Impact Accelerator or should I go all in? Ask yourself right now, did you go all in last year? I did a poll online, and you know I had very few yeses. Like, if you were to be honest with yourself, did you go all in last year? Go in the chat and say yes or no. And so when you a lot of no's, right? 1 yes, 2 yeses, a lot of no's though. So I invite you to look at, even if you're saying yes, like I feel like I don't ever go all in. And why am I sharing that with you? Because there's always a next gear. And there's always somewhere that I could have tweaked my all in, and I could have stepped up to the plate. And I share that with you because if we can operate in humility like that, humility will make you a lot of money. That's something you should write down. Humility will make you a lot of money, and here's why. It takes a lot of humility to let that offer go. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like for David, for you to go out there, or Jacobel, for you to go out there, Arthur, you have to, for you to make an offer, you have to be humble. And when you go make that offer and someone says no, that's a hard moment, isn't it? They say no, it's a hard moment. But rarely somebody says no. They give you a reason why. So I'm going to give you something right now that's going to make you a lot of money. And that is this. And I have no problem talking about money because money touches a lot of places that we love. It touches your health care. It touches your comfort. It touches a lot of great things in your life. It touches your retirement. In fact, I set up a retirement fund that I paid into it for 5 years, and I retired in my early 30s. And I didn't actually retire, but I set it up because being an entrepreneur, I thought I didn't know what I was doing. I needed to take care of my future. And so if you're in a situation where you're thinking that you missed that boat, I'm going to tell you it doesn't take a long time to make a lot of money in high ticket sales. So the way to be super humble, make a lot of money, is when you get a no, or it won't even be a no. It'll be it's not the right time. I got to check with my spouse. And by the way, if you have those, you're going to have to start processing through those because all those are delays for you to wait to make a decision. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? And you're going to face them when you get out there, or hopefully you're already out there. You're facing them now, and people are saying, Kay, right? They're saying, you know what, Kay, I love what you're saying, and I feel so connected to you, but I got to check with my husband or my wife. So my husband actually quit his job and became a full-time entrepreneur. First, he asked me for permission, and then he eventually walked in and enrolled me. There's a very big difference. He said, I have to do this, and I have to do it right now. So enrollment's a really important thing. So here's where humility comes into play. And I'll get into your niche audience. Humility comes into play when somebody says they can't move forward with you, and simply ask them this. Simply ask them this. If you want your conversions to go up, Dean was saying how I have a 30% conversion off a stage. Here's why. I am constantly asking the audience what it is that they need. So when someone says not yet to you, I want you to ask them, what was missing that if I would have had it in this offer, program, product, service, that you would have been able to say yes to it? Write that down. Like literally write that down. Because you can have 3 or 4 phone calls and be in a position that you're going to see a pattern of something that's missing in whatever your offer is, and you can either add it in right there and figure it out, because the worst that can happen is you give them their money back. Always think about worst case scenario. That will unhook you from the pressure to take action. So ask them what was missing. If I would have added this to the product, service, or offering, you would have been able to either feel safe or it would have worked out for you. What's missing? Just tell me what's missing. And they'll tell you. Once you get that, add that into your product and service. You're going to see the same thing comes up. It's a gaping hole. And unhook from the thought that you need to get it perfect to get started. Does that help? Okay, so here's why I want you to think about audience, niche audience, before you think about avatar. So I don't believe that I could have figured out what my avatar was. Some of you guys probably could figure it out, but I couldn't figure it out because I couldn't make the decision. But I did know who I wanted to serve. I wanted to serve people who were entrepreneurs. I wanted to serve people who wanted to make money. So my first course was The Art of Receiving Money, a little mixture of spirituality and business. And I found that the thing that Frank was talking about, I found that the result I could get for you was to get you to think prosperously. And I did things that were super simple, like how to walk through the world and notice what was working. And people started making money. But the problem is I sold that for $3,000. You guys are probably taught maybe how to get traffic or how to find customers or clients and then sell a lower priced offer. Now here's the thing, that's awesome. You know why you got taught that? Because it's how you get competent. And many of you guys won't go out and sell the higher ticket priced offer because you want confidence. And confidence doesn't come from a book of reading about confidence. Confidence comes from you getting up to the plate and getting competent. Like getting a yes on a high ticket sale and then you're ready to go. So the first thing that I'm going to recommend that you do is you focus on the niche audience and unhook yourself from who exactly you're going to serve, because I really do believe you need to work with about 15 to 20 people before you understand who you love and who you don't love. Does that help? Yes or no? Does that help? So now let me talk to you about pricing, because is that an area that some of you guys get stuck on? Like, what should I charge? What should I give? Okay, so I know Dean's going to go deeper into this, but yes, please. I know Dean's going to go deeper into this inside of Impact Accelerator, but here's what I think could hook you right now, because what if you could just make some money between now and then, right? What if you could just unleash yourself, go out there, instead of being worried about getting a no, just actually go out there and connect with 15 people. You know, connect with 15 people, whether it's in a Facebook group or on your Facebook group, or hopefully you have an email list. The social media platforms freak me out. I can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and be kicked off tomorrow. We rent social media platforms. We don't own them. We own our email lists. Hear what I'm saying? Notice when people like Dean and Frank and these guys are talking, they have email lists. Those are the niche audiences built in there. Okay? So you could go out there and have a few conversations, ask the question, just practice asking the question, what was missing? But then you might go, well, I don't know what to even offer. Great example, my client Jackie. My client Jackie decided she wanted to be a business coach, and she's not a business coach. Her background is PR. Think right now, what is your background? What are you already good at? Kind of looping in and strengthening what Frank talked about. So she wanted to be a business coach because she hated PR. So we shift her over. I kept saying, and this is where being coachable matters. I kept saying, you're not a business coach, you're not a business coach, you're a PR person. And so she was afraid to do that for entrepreneurs because she knew her niche audience. See what I'm saying? I want to work with these people, but I don't know what to offer. So once I finally got her to offer PR to entrepreneurs, she made 6 figures in 1 quarter. Do you know she worked with me for 3 years making no money? Do not give up. Do not give up. There's something internally that needs to be let go for you to have that breakthrough. And it comes down to what is it that you're offering. And a lot of times what you're offering is not lining up with what result you can honestly give. I've seen so many people sell money that are not money people because they think that's what sells. You need to honestly pick the lane that you're best at. And trust me, there are millions of people that want to learn how to garden, that want to learn how to have a better communication with their husband and wife, want to learn how to date. There's just so many people in any area you could think about that really want to learn from you. So Jackie, she made 6 figures in 1 quarter, but here's what was really fascinating. Because she had a niche audience, she turned to look, and this is a message for some of you guys, she turned to look at her husband who was lost and floundering, and she said, well, what if I could just help my husband for 1 month? And she stopped her marketing plan for 1 month. And she turned and she helped her husband, and it blew up with a high ticket sale that they offered. They did $1.5 million in 5 months. Okay, and now they're off and running. So 3 years making no money, 6 months getting more refined and offering her wisdom to the niche audience she wanted, which was entrepreneurs, PR. And then I'm a real big believer in generosity opens up kingdom doors. And so she shifted to help her husband. She took her niche audience, moved it towards her husband in a totally different field, and literally the whole thing blew up. And so I share this with you because not only can you do this, but packaging and pricing comes down to literally you looking at what is it that I can offer that's such a high value, and then just keep asking them what's missing. Just keep asking them what's missing. So coaching and consulting, advice, it's one of the easiest things to sell online. I keep telling people who are not even entrepreneurs now, who are employees, that they need to build a niche audience, and then on top of it, they need to sell a high ticket sale. Why? Because we're living in a world right now that you are responsible for creating the type of income you want. And if you keep waiting for someday to come It just won't. It's a simple, easy, let it be easy. You need an audience. Before you even figure out a product, you need to know who are you going to sell to. And it doesn't need to be as specific as, especially if you're just starting, as the avatar. It could be the avatar, it could be the niche audience. Is this clear, you guys? Is this helping? Yes or no? Is this helping? So good. So good. Powerful message. Yes, yes, clear. If you can unhook yourself from the pressure, what's going to happen is that you're going to get speed. Speed comes from reducing the pressure. So now if I can I pop over here for a second, you guys? Now if I could pop over here, pay attention to this. So I'm going to do packaging and pricing for just 1 second. Pick some result that you could deliver. So I can give you advice on how to, I'm actually going to do this at Impact Accelerator. How can you make a year's worth of income in 3 months? How could you create a year's worth of income in 3 months? So you guys who joined Impact Accelerator, I'm going to give you a high five because I'm going to actually show you how to do that. Hundreds of people, totally by accident, that we figured this out. It happened during COVID. We lost $2 million a month in our company within 45 days of COVID hitting. And I had a marketing meeting and a company meeting, and I said, I can do 2 things right now. I can put the mask over myself and keep marketing because I know my niche audience, or I can look at my clients and make sure they don't attrition out, they don't quit, and put the mask over them, which is what I chose to do. And through doing that, I had to get them to make offers more often. Notice if the offer's not sticking, what's missing? Once we did that, we learned something called stacking without paid advertisement, without any of that, without paying a bunch of money on like Instagram, Facebook, or any of that. We showed them how to make a year's worth of income inside of 90 days. And some of them are doing that inside of 1 month now. Totally by accident, we figured this out. We're going to teach that at Impact Accelerator. However, know this. When you go to packaging and pricing, I'm going to just take a coach. You guys okay if I just take a coach right now for the sake of making this really easy? Everybody knows coach gives advice. So if I'm a coach, this doesn't work. If I'm a coach and say I'm going to offer a high ticket offer, which is like, guys, this doesn't work. Okay, so say I'm going to do high ticket sales. I'm going to do a one-on-one time with me. How many of you guys would love to have one-on-one time with me to help you build out your business, right? So the same is with you. Because you're a niche audience and because I'm talking to you and giving, it makes it really easy to make an offer because there's already people who select you just because you're giving, because they resonate with it, okay? So if I go a one-on-one offer with me, make it up. Permission to make up your price. That's all we do. Okay, we make it up. Okay, I don't look at what other people are doing. How much money do you want to make? Make it up. So say I like to think monthly, because when I think of a whole year, I get overwhelmed. So I'm gonna make this quick, let it be easy. Say I want to make $1,000 a month, right? Or $2,000 a month per customer or client. All I have to do is if I go one-on-one time, here's a great starting place. One-on-one time, 2 times a month for 1 hour. Okay, now you gotta ask yourself, is that good enough for you to enroll someone? Do you feel the value? Some of you guys are yes, some of you guys are no. If it's a no, what could I add? I could add a mastermind, 2-day mastermind. Is that enough? Mastermind, by the way, would be a great thing to do at the end of a year-long program. Why? Renew them into the next year. Okay? Is that enough? Yes or no? I'm out of the business of telling you what you should offer because truly, I'm in the business of saying you getting started and moving forward is better than what you offer. So when you do this, I can add things like Voxer access to me or you. I could add things like a course, whatever. But here's the thing, there's all right here that the customer is going to tell you what to add. And when you add that, your sales will go up. So here's the last thing I want to share with you. Sell whatever price you make up, sell to, and then raise your price. Sell to after that, and then raise your price. let high ticket sales be easy. This doesn't have to be hard. It's not confusing. I promise you it's not confusing, and it can be easier than you think. I am an accidental entrepreneur, and I'm unbelievably excited about this time in the marketplace right now. And as things get crazy, people get emotional. As they get emotional, people buy off of emotions. I want you to be the person. I want you to be the person that's the trustworthy source to be able to help people through. And here's the thing, if you're worried about getting results, the worst case scenario is you give somebody back their money. So I want to just take a moment and say, will you let it be easy? Yes or no? Go in the chat and let us know. I'm going to see you guys at Impact Accelerator, you guys who jumped in. So much love for you. You got this.
Shanda Sumner. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming here. Hey guys, should be able to see the chat. Give her some love. So many great comments. So here's a couple things I took away from this. You know what I also realized? This is the things you improve upon. I'm giving two amazing people 20 minutes each, and they're in here trying to do 100 things for you in 20 minutes, right? Next time I'll make it like 40, but I promised 3 hours today, and there's a lot of things I wanted to share. You know what I'm saying, Yolanda? I wanted to make this about me today. No, I'm just kidding. But I know both Frank and Shanda wanted to pack a lot in 20 minutes, but I hope you're really hearing some of the little things that are the big things. You know, there's a saying I heard that I love. It says, little hinges swing a big door. And it's the little things that we all need to drive us forward, right? Sometimes we just need to not feel like an imposter. Sometimes we need to know that humility will make us successful. When she said that, just the way she shared it, humility will make us successful. Sometimes we overthink it. We have to be perfect. We have to know this inside and out. Listen, I will never say just sell something and if there's no value, if you're not an expert. No, let's go back to what Frank said. If you know you're selling something that gets someone the results they want, it can help them overcome the sadness, it can help them lose the weight or go vegan or learn to sell better, learn to love better, learn to have inner peace. If you know you can deliver the results, then you have to be humble and just decide it's time to share it. I love what she said about what's missing in the offer. Right? Sometimes we think we know what people need and we're missing something. I think you should write this down. Sometimes we think we know what people need and we're actually missing what they want. Right? It's like, think about this. If you're creating a weight loss program, you know people need to eat smarter, work out more, maybe count calories, do some cardio. You know they need that. So sometimes I've watched people create the perfect weight loss program to give people what they need, and it scares people away because it doesn't deliver them actually what they want. They want something that fits in between a crazy, hectic life, something they could get done in 20 minutes a day, something where they don't have to count carbs. Who's ever tried to count carbs? I can't do it. It's too much work, right? So we got to remember there's this fine balance around what people need and what they want. You might have created the perfect program for people, but they're thinking, I can't work with Tweelia or Laura or Wendy or Joseph because it doesn't have all the things that I want. So when we listen and go, oh my God, they want a group where you guys meet up together on Facebook so they can be part of a community. Done. Let's go register a free Facebook group. Oh my God, they want a once a month check-in to be able to ask questions. Done. Let's give them what they want. Here's the big one. You ready for this? This changed my life. Sometimes we have to sell people what they want and we have to deliver them what they need. I was blessed to go from teaching people how to flip a car a month to teaching people how to do real estate. And real estate was my life. I've done over, just so you know, I'm not someone who talks about it, I did over 1,000 real estate deals. And now my main goal is teaching people to be in this industry and self-development and self-education. That's my whole life. I've been doing it for 25 years now, right? But when I was in the real estate business, I became the #1 real estate educator in the world. From starting with humble beginnings, scared to death, no college degree, didn't know what the hell I was doing, just inspired by Tony Robbins. Fast forward 10 years, I was the #1 real estate trainer in the world, right? It sounds like I'm bragging, but it's a long journey to that, right? You get to learn a lot during that way. what I know is so many people got my real estate program and then ripped it off, like exact. It was almost like word for word. Some of it was almost like literally with my team. Some of my team's been with me for 20 years. Mike sitting in that room's been for almost 20 years. I used to laugh and go, wow, that's a Deanism. At least they could have changed something. Like, that's a story about my own childhood. They can't have the same exact childhood as me, right? It's like, you should have at least changed some names, right? But none of them ever gained momentum. And here's what I realized. I had a great real estate course. There was other really good real estate courses out there, people who did well. But I sold people what they wanted, but I obsessed on what they needed. Meaning, I worked on their personal development to get inside their mind, to bust imposter syndrome, to overcome obstacles, to not listen to the naysayers in their life. So I had to work on their mindset as much as I had to work on their real estate strategy. And when they combine the two, they're like, this is the greatest real estate training in the world. It's like, maybe, but I know what you need and also what you want, and I combine the two. Who in here is a part of Project Next? Raise your hand if you're a part of Project Next, my family. Arika, Elizabeth, good to see you guys. Good, Treste, good to see you. Penny, good to see you. Did you guys like, it's about being in the self-education industry, correct? But did you notice what was the first module? The whole first module was about what? Making sure that Tony and I anchored a mindset where you didn't give up on yourself. So you see the success. You're in our Facebook group, I'm guessing. You see every day. Isn't it insane? Every day we're having success. Thousands of people are crushing it. And people are like, this is the greatest course on self-education in the world. I agree. I believe this event, those that are coming to Impact Accelerator Live, would be the greatest event you've gone to. But if we just gave you what you needed, you might get overwhelmed. You might give up on yourself. That imposter may tell you, we can never do this. So we have to deliver what you need, but also give you what you want. That's why Project Next is about mindset for the first module, so you attack module 2, and I think we do things to help carry you through the event. The same thing with our 3-day event with Impact Accelerator. We're going to carry you through the event to keep crushing those limiting beliefs, and as soon as we crush it, okay, this is how you craft your offer. Then we crush that next one. Here's how you sell it, right? So I just want to share that because I think that was so great that Shanda said, keep adding, keep stacking. And a lot of times it's that magical balance. You know how to get them to lose weight, feel better, live better, love better, sell better, eat better, find self-love, get the promotion. You know how to do that? But we also got to make sure we're giving them what they want so they stay engaged. You guys get that part? All right. So I'm not going to go super long today, but I got another piece I want to train today that I think it's really, really important. And I want to go back to this concept of being a friend and selling is service. So, and then I want to tell you the difference between, I'll go a little deeper on the difference of a course or a next level high ticket. What is that difference? So I want to try to do that in the next 15 or 20 minutes. And hopefully this really sticks. So it's not that long ago, maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I got hired to speak in California, in LA, and I got 2 speaking gigs that were 2 days apart. So it was like a Monday and a Wednesday, and I got paid really good to go speak. It's amazing how the evolution goes. Who would have thought in a million years, right? So I got like a Monday and a Wednesday, and I'm like, okay, and I was really busy. I'm like, if I'm gonna go Wednesday, I don't have time to come back. What am I gonna do in LA for an extra day? All right, I'm just going to stay. So I thought to myself, this is maybe 10 years ago, because I'm thinking it was about real estate. So I'm like, I have an extra day. So I went and identified who would I like to teach at that phase of my life? Who would I like to teach? If I was going to be there Monday to Wednesday, I had all day Tuesday. So I decided to do a 1-day intensive mastermind with 5 people. I was going to meet 5 people in my hotel room. They had a little conference room. It fit 10 or it was a little fairly good sized conference room, had a whiteboard, had a projector. I'm like, if I'm going to be there for a day, I'm going to go all deep. I'm going to go deep on the right people that would like to spend a day with me. So I thought to myself, who would I like to spend a day with helping? Now at that time, what I said was, I'm going to do this. 5 people, $5,000 each. It'd be a nice payday, and I could change some lives while I'm there. And I got a whole day anyway. I got a day. Why not make $25,000 in a day? Now I'm not saying And with all the success you see and all the things we're blessed to do, I am never going to tell you you're going to get rich for doing nothing. You're going to make millions of dollars by just waving a magic wand. Please know it takes work. Please know you got to overcome your obstacles. You got to get out of your head. You can't feel like an imposter, and you got to be able to follow the rules. Like, that's just the way it goes. Nobody wins the Olympics. Nobody wins games. Nobody becomes successful for doing nothing. It's the work we do when no one's watching. Anyway, so I'm sharing this with you because I want to tell you how I approach this as you would talking to a friend. So I had this one day, I had this Tuesday slot for one day, and I said, I'd love to talk to people who are already selling real estate deals, so they know how to flip a house, and they're dying to be in the house flipping business, right? That little niche. Not someone who never did a deal, not someone who's doing $1 million a year, someone who sold a few houses, and it's time to grow. So I'm going to do $5,000. I'm going to do a full day of immersion, 5 people. Now, this is the part I want to share with you, and I don't think I need to go to the whiteboard. But I wanted to make it like I was talking to a friend. So what did we do? Now, I went to Facebook and Instagram or whatever social media we were using back then, and my email list. And I want to tell you how I changed it all up. I wrote this big, all long email, and I started thinking, this is what we're going to be doing. This is what we're going to be covering. This is what I want. Fill out this application. And I remember I scrapped the whole thing. And all I did was send an email that said, hey, I'm going to be in LA next week. I'm going to do think of writing to a friend. I'm going to be in LA next week. I'm going to do a small mastermind with 5 people or so. And I want to help people. I want those in the room, or I want to help people that have already made a real estate deal, and you just want to know the next level strategy to turn it into a business. If you're interested, let me know. As my friend Dean Jackson calls it was like a 9-word email. It's like, I'm going to be in LA, doing a small mastermind. This is what I'm doing it on. If you're interested in it, let me know. We got so many emails back, it was crazy. But I just wrote like I was writing to a friend. When they wrote back, then that reply went out with a little deeper information. Hey, it's $5,000 a person. This is exactly who we're looking for. It's only going to be 5 people. And I did what Frank Kern says. I attached a little short application. Just fill out this application. What is your business? How many deals have you done? Are you someone that's willing to learn? Do you understand masterminds? And we had this little application. Out of the applications that came back, I simply had someone in my office. Now, it could be you, could be a friend, could be your wife, your husband, if you're just starting out. I had them call back to confirm the information. Now, think about it. I did not have a conversation with people yet. It was through Facebook. I see you're interested in, it was through Facebook and probably Instagram and email. They went to an application. Then someone in my office talked to them. And then it got down to about 10 people. And I did just what I shared with you earlier before the break. I literally called and said, hey, this is Dean. I saw you fill out the application for my one day. I said, yeah, it's one day. It's all about you. You know what I teach, or maybe you don't, but it's all about this to this. I'd love to know, where are you in your real estate career? It's like, I'm selling 3 deals, but I want to get to 1 deal a month. I'm only doing like 1 deal every 6 months. Like, okay, I could help that person. Where would you like to go? I want to get to a deal a month. I could help that person get to a deal a month. I could help them with their marketing. Why do you want it? Because I'm doing half of my job and half this, and I want to go all in on this. Wow, I know it's a strong why. I'm like, all right, I think I can show you how to do it. We got some spots left. Would you like to be in? We sold that out. In fact, we put 7 people in. I was only going to do 5. We did 7, but we had like 15 that wanted in. Now, why am I sharing that with you? Because I want to continue to demystify this big ticket. Like, it takes being a human. And here's what I knew, and I want to go back to what Frank said. I knew I could get these people results. I knew for an absolute fact. And here's the awesome thing. Those people came, we had an amazing day. Some of them became friends, and that'll happen a lot. Whether you're teaching people yoga or how to eat vegan. Some of these high-level people, you get to know, like, and trust each other, and they become friends. Some of those same people ended up in my $25,000 a year program that you had to be doing a deal a month to be in. And through this attrition, those that went all in ended up in my $25,000 a year real estate program. Here's the cool part. That one day, about 4 of the 7 ended up doing the sales that they wanted to and ended up my high-level program. And again, to be in the industry, to watch people's progress, to care, to know you can deliver value, I can't think of anything in the world that could have been better for me. I don't know about you. I hope you get a taste of this industry in a bigger way. I hope you get to see when someone looks you in the face and says, thank you. I'm doing better. I feel better. I got the results. It's something beyond anything you can imagine. I would bet to say if you're here today, you have a heart to serve. You know that you can give more, do more, help people, while simultaneously have more success in your own life. It is one of those rare things, and I know if you're a part of my family, you know I say this a lot, but I don't know many things in life where you get to make impact, watch somebody transform, while at the same time create success for yourself. There's not many industries that allow you to do both. So if you're interested in this, I'm going to tell you, whether you come to Impact Accelerator Live, I hope you do, or if you're a part of Project Next, I hope you are. But even if you decide not to today, if this is your industry, I'm going to tell you, go all in. As Tony Robbins says, burn the boats. Don't dabble. Nothing in life that you dabble with, anything with one foot out the door is just a dream. Any relationship you've ever been in your life with one foot out the door is a dream. Right? You're just waiting for the next the other shoe to fall so you can say, oh, I knew this wouldn't work. I'm too old. It's too busy. It's too electronic. Oh, you need to spend all this money on ads, or I don't know how to speak on camera. If you have one foot out the door, you're just waiting for that one thing to bail, and then 3 years from now, you're back looking again going, no, I want to be in it. Right? So all I'm going to say is, it's the most amazing industry in the world. It's growing exponentially. It doesn't matter if there's COVID, no COVID, what happens in the outside world, this industry will continue to grow. And the world has become virtual. Look at us. I get to meet all of you in 100+ countries today. Right? And it doesn't matter if you're on a big screen or on a little TV. I get to see Peter Yates and Pauline and people from all over the world. Right? This is where we are. So I didn't mean to digress here, but what I'm going to do, just share with you, is whether you're going to learn from Tony and I or someone else, learn from someone who's already been there. Bust the imposter syndrome and go all in. It takes effort. Nothing comes easy. I am not the guy that says you're going to make $1 million a year for doing nothing, but you can absolutely get to any level you want in an industry that's heading towards $1 billion a day. They predict by 2025, this industry will be $1 billion a day. You got the opportunity to be a part of that. So I hope I'm inspiring you today. And then I want to, I digress there, which I tend to do. I shared that story because if you get to meet me, you'll realize I love to sell. I love to sell people into something where I know I can transform their life. And that's a gift I hope if we spend enough time together, you will exhibit, you will feel, you will become a part of, saying, wow, if I sell those people into my $57 course or my $5,700 mastermind, I get to change their life. When you feel that way, there's no stopping you. You'll never sell again in your life. But let me just share a little difference, just so you can have a little understanding of, I was sharing before about Dennis, my daughter's coach, and then I made up the story of the book sales. But I want to share a little bit of difference between a course and a high ticket. So we have something. I'm not selling today. I hope you become a part of it. We have a course and a training called Project Next. Project Next sold for $1,000. It's the #1 best-selling self-education course in the world, hands down. It is an unbelievable course. Those, Penny, I see you shaking your head. Those that are in, it's a family. Those of you in self-educate in Project Next, let everybody know it's a family. It's a course for $1,000 that Tony and I held nothing back. You guys are here. You guys paid for it. Did we hold anything back in that course? Nothing. We thought of everything possible. Everything we could think of, from the mindset, what people want, what they need, how to market, how to sell, all of it. It's in this course, right? And we sold it for $1,000, best-selling course on the internet, more success from that course, I believe, than any course ever created in its space. But then we also had, so in that course is everything you need to do on your own, right? So if you're the person that says, I got the course, amazing, held nothing back. But then we offered Project Next Level. For some people, it's not available right now, not selling it, it's not here right now, but we offered Project Next Level, where we deconstructed that course and we made it a 6-month program where we did 3 3-day immersive events, where in those 3 days the rubber meets the road. We had our coaches and myself, and we were training and make sure they got the work done. They named it, they built it, they launched inside Mastermind, they figured out their dot and their niche at the deepest level. Right? We got the technology out of the way. We created processes to get clients through Facebook and other strategies. And then we spent a whole weekend on high ticket sales. It was pretty amazing. for those of you there, we had over $700,000 in sales from our students over a weekend. It was amazing. But guess what? We didn't teach much of any, and I just want you to hear this. We didn't teach much of anything different in Project Next Level that was in Project Next. We just unpackaged it. We broke it up into events. We held people accountable. We did the work with them. If they had problems, they could call us and say, Arthur says, I need a little help. Okay, let's get on the phone. Let's make sure you get this done. Let's get you up on mastermind.com. Let's make this happen. So we unpackaged it. It was the most successful group ever. They're a family. The reason I'm sharing that is because if you build, as Shanda said, the competency, if you build a low-end course, if you create a curriculum, your high-ticket offer is nothing more than that unpackaged. I'm sorry, I'm going to give I have something I want to share with you guys. I want to make sure I got it here. And I don't see it. Could you give me the sheet? Okay. I'll get it here in a minute. Okay, Jeremy, come here when you get a minute. Sorry, squirrel. I just got something really great I want to share with you. I need the, sorry about that, guys. I got way more surprises for you guys, so I don't want to mess up on it. All right, thank you so much. There we go. I knew I had my page here. So the reason that I'm sharing that with you is because Shanda said something that's really cool. We tend to overthink. Who's overthought this industry way too much, if you're really honest? Arika, you were the first one to put your hand up. Scott, you were second with the thumb up, right? Jennifer, we all can sometimes overthink this and feel like it's got to be perfect. And I'll launch one when I have the value. And sometimes we think when I get completely through it, even though some people need the messy middle. I want to share that this is what we do at the highest level. The course we created, it's unpackaged, and the results we got for people are unbelievable. The people that were in Project Next Level, they're our most successful students we've ever had. So I want you to understand in this transition that your high ticket offer is a natural evolution. It is what certain people, 10%, 20%, 18% of your students will want if they bought a lower ticket. Some of you will jump over the whole value ladder and go, I don't want to do any of that. Listen, Frank Kern mostly right now just does high ticket consulting and high ticket offer. He doesn't do any of the low stuff. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Some of you will leapfrog to the top. So with that said, I want to bring up somebody else that it's pretty cool. She's a part of our Next Level training. And sometimes, what is really awesome here is when you see all the people that are on the screen, right? You guys see that? This in front of me right now, I got Heath in front of me and Dr. Sharon and Julie and Annette Johnson. But then it switches. Arika's in front of me and Sue's in front of me, and then it'll switch and I'll have another group in front of me, and then it'll switch and have another group in front of me. It's so freaking awesome. And this girl, Treste, I hope I said that right, Treste, she was about the last 3 trainings, she was always like right there. And I was watching her smile and her energy. I've never spoken to her before, but she has an amazing story. And my team gave me a sheet on it, and I thought we should bring her up. Treste, I hope I said your name right. Good to see you and finally meet you. How you doing? Everybody, give it up for Treste.
Good. Good, Dean. How are you?
I'm doing so good. Well, before we go any further, you having a good day?
I'm having an awesome day.
Well, good. Before we go any further, I want to say thank you. I know you served in our Navy. Thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for being the ones that protect us when no one's watching. So can we give it up for Treste for serving our country, even if you're not in this country? So what I love, and then I'm going to let you chat, what I love about your story here is you served and you got out of the military and you said, how do I serve more? How do I take that feeling of serving, and is there a way to make it into a business? And I love the fact that you decided to focus on teaching diversity, inclusion, and racial equity to police departments. How amazing is that? I mean, it's such cool, and obviously it aligns with your heart. And I see your smile, and I can tell you love doing it. So I don't want to take away on your thunder. I would love for you to share a little bit about your evolution, and where were you, and what do you love right now about what you're doing?
Thanks, Dean. Well, I was, as you said, I retired from the Navy, and I was like, what am I going to do now? And I had loved training in the Navy on diversity, inclusion, and racial equity. And I was pretty good at it. So I said, well, let me see if I can't take that and impact people outside the Navy. And then as life went and we heard all the bad things that happened, then I was like, this is what I should do. I can help police officers do their best work because they do excellent work anyway. But I can help them do even their best work when we're talking about dealing with different races and ethnicities. So I got into my head, why not train police departments? And so I started that, and where I am now is I'm about to work with my second police department that is paid for, and I'm working on a $10,000 deal to train them.
Listen, I love that. I know your first deal was $7,000 to work. Now I want to brag about you a little bit. Let's park the money aside. Treste has done amazing high-level tickets. She's training one-to-many, right? So we talked to some people who are doing one-to-one training, one-to-one coaching. My daughter's coach trains her one-on-one. Treste, am I saying your name right? Can you say it?
Yes, you're right, Treste.
Oh, great. Thank God. I thought I was messing it up. So that makes me feel better. But also there's the opportunity to teach one-to-many. You work with, you secured the largest police department in Vermont, $7,000 for 6 months, and you're training all of them. Is that correct?
Yes, train everyone, including the people who are just there as staff members. So I train the officers and their staff members.
Gotcha. So let me just ask you something. If we back up, did you come with the Own Your Future Challenge? Is that how we met, or how did we meet?
Actually, I was here in the Comeback Challenge.
Oh, great.
I've been here for a while, so yeah.
Amazing. So before that, though, I would bet to say, if someone said to you, hey, you're going to be teaching, you're going to pay $7,000 to teach police how to understand racial equality and be better at what they do. And I feel the same way. I think our police are amazing. There's always a handful of bad and everything in the world, but thank God for our police. And to give them the opportunity to step up and give them that training, you fill my heart. You served our country, and now you're helping people that serve us every single day. And I think we all give that love to the police, especially the good ones that are helping us. So thank you if you're in the police world, or somebody in your family is, or in the military, thank you. But I would bet to say, if someone said, hey, you're going to be sharing what you know, and now you're going to be sharing it to hundreds of people in the police department, when you don't know, that I bet there was times where you questioned yourself or were scared about it. Is that true?
Absolutely. I didn't think that, even though I've been training on that for years in the Navy, it was like, yeah, but that's my job in the Navy. And now I want to do it to serve other people, actually, to make a huge impact in their life. And I don't know if I'm the right person to do that.
Yeah. So what was was that the hardest part? I'd love to know, what was the hardest part of your journey?
The hardest part of my journey was actually that I could say that I know what I'm doing, and I have confidence in my abilities, but I don't know if I'm good enough to impact other people's lives. And those lives I'm impacting to impact even more people's lives. So it was daunting. I overanalyzed, as you said earlier. I went through thinking and thinking and thinking it. And finally, I said, I'm going to do this. And I started by offering free training, free 30-minute classes to different police departments around the country. And after I did that, and I got the feedback, and it was like, well, maybe I do know what I'm doing. So I still had to get over that fear, though, of actually charging someone. So I explained it like this. I felt like I was on top of a 30-story building, and I needed to take that step off and to show myself that, yes, I can do this. So through all the challenges, Comeback Challenge, New World, New You, just finished the Ultimate Breakthrough, part of KBB, Self-Education Revolution, et cetera, I kept building and building and building and got my mindset together. And one day I just said, well, I'm going to step off this 30-story building. And I did. And that's when I approached the police department here in Vermont. And it took about 3 phone conversations, and there we were.
You know, I have to say, you know, your story has an incredible ending. And I love seeing your smile. I've seen you on so many of the trainings, and I get to see that beautiful smile, and you're always cheering and feeling good. But I have to say, there's 2 endings to a story like yours. And I want everybody to hear this. There's a story like this with that beautiful smile, and got her first $7,000 sale, and she's working on her $10,000 second sale. And I see there's no stopping you from here. But there's always that millimeter, as Tony says, of you saying one day, I don't think I can step off this building. It's not for me. And if you want to know why I do the Comeback Challenge and Start Over Challenge and this challenge and Secrets of Scaling, and why we're doing Impact Accelerator Live, because I hear so many stories of someone who was an inch away. And they're like, maybe this won't work for me. And then you miss out on your whole life of this next level. You know, Trustee, you heard me say this a lot of times, but I always think to myself, at the end of my life, I don't want God, not that God would do this or your maker, I don't want God or whoever you believe in to play me a video of the man I could have been. I think about that all the time. And I feel like I'm standing on a 30-story building all the time too, Trustee, in my own world, and partnering with Tony, and we're doing big things and trying to accomplish so much. There's a lot of days where I'm still scared, but I also say to myself, I want to live into my full potential. I don't want to be the person at the end of my life going, wow, I could have been that. All I had to do was one more try, one more failure. I had to overcome the fear that my friends were going to think I was crazy, or my husband would think I'm nuts, or my family think I'm doing something foo-foo. Like, I'm going to let that stop me? Hell no. And I want to tell you, I love your story, but what drives me is not only your story. What drives me are those that were almost there and they're thinking of quitting. And if I could do one more event, one more training, one more live event, one more push, if I can obsess on understanding what you want and what you need, then I can push you so we can have stories like this. And it's not just me, we're all in the same industry. This is what we get to do. We get to push people sometimes out of their comfort zone. We get to push people and say, I don't think I could sell, to, oh my God, I love selling. I don't think I could teach, to, oh my God, I'm just going to be myself on camera. Oh my God, I don't know if I'm good in front of a crowd. No, this isn't a crowd. This is police officers who need what I know so they can be better at what they do while they serve us. And when you start shifting that mindset of, I'm here to serve, I'm here to impact, all of a sudden it takes that fear away. With that said, what do you think through this whole journey? What has been your biggest aha moment? Like, oh my God, I wish I would have known this sooner.
Actually, taking the step. I wish I would have taken this step so much sooner. It was not as difficult as I made it out to be. It was not as scary as I made it out to be. It was simply believing in myself and knowing that I could deliver to those who needed me the most. And I did that. And you and Tony, you guys helped me with that. That's that mindset that I definitely needed to get. And through all the training that you guys have given me, that's my biggest aha, is getting my mindset together.
Yeah, well, thank you. First off, let's give it up for Trustee for staying with it. Come on, let's give her some love, for God's sakes. Okay, here's the cool part, Trustee, is what I want to share with all of you is it is literally like, now that you've got your first sale and you're working on your second sale, is it the competency and the confidence is growing? Like, I'm going to ask, are you ready to attack this whole country? Like, I mean it. Like, you have
absolutely
right. You have something some people need. And now what I shared with everyone about use the strategies that we teach, that you'll learn at Impact Accelerator Live, to go in without spending money. If you're new, go in without spending much money on marketing out of the gate, so you can get your first sale, so you can get your second sale, get your fifth sale, and then that grows to the next level. You start exploring, how do I spend a little money to make? How can I spend more? It's all a process, right? Again, Tony says all the time, we underestimate what we can do You know, we overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do with 5. So now you have the opportunity of the revenue with those 2. Start exploring how you could maybe send a direct mail, a FedEx, to different police stations around the country with a beautiful FedEx package of saying, this is what I'm already doing in Vermont. Where's the other one that you're going to be working with?
They're both in Vermont.
Right. So you could say, I'm working with these 2 places in Vermont. Get a testimonial from the 2, whoever the decision makers are in those 2 precincts. Get a testimonial from them. Put that in a letter. Create a beautiful FedEx package. Take some of the $17,000 that you made and send out 20 FedEx packages, beautifully written, with testimonials of share what you've done, why you respect police, that you've been in the Navy. Now it's time to serve at another level. And out of those 50, what if you got 2 more? And then you take those 2, and then the first 2, and now you got 4 testimonials, you got more money, you send out 100 more FedExes, and then you go hire yourself a personal assistant who's keeping track of all those things. And then as that grows, you hire somebody to start doing marketing and advertising and get your podcast going. I'm not trying to make this sound easy, but you guys, can you see the evolution of what happens when you step off the cliff, when you go for it? And here's the cool part. You don't have to do it alone. That's why Tony and I do these. That's why we do live events. This is our business. This is a business, but we're doing this. Listen, I'm not saying this for any other reason. I don't need to work anymore. Neither does Tony. This is an absolute, this is our legacy. This is our passion. This is our passion project. It's why I come here with all this enthusiasm. It's why we're doing an event, is because we love being that spark. Somebody like Treste, what if we never met Treste? This might have been a thought forever. It might have been a dream forever. And what if you gave up a year ago, right? You wouldn't be here today. And can you see the evolution of this business with no ending?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No ending at all.
All right, everybody. Everybody, give it up for Treste. I have to tell you, when I feel so fortunate to be able to watch someone like her. And again, I have seen her smiling face for about a year in different events. I saw her over here once, and I saw her in that corner over there, and always this big, beautiful smile, right? And I had no idea about her story until it went across my desk, and then I put the name with the face today. But this is the opportunity that we have. And this is what we need to keep going. Treste, it took her over a year to do this, and she went to multiple events. Some people, listen, I love this saying of success tax. Somebody told it to me over 15 years ago, and I feel like all of us have to pay success tax to get to the level of success we want. And what does success tax mean? So imagine there's a success auditor. And some people are lucky. Maybe they got to go through 2 challenges, and the 3rd time they try, success just falls on their lap. Frank Kern, he hit it out of the park pretty amazing. When his first event, he put, what, 30 people in or whatever that was at 10 grand each. That was a home run out of the gate, right? But what I feel is we all have to pay our success tax, right? I see Beth is right in front of me that we talked to earlier. Beth, she went through a tough time in her life. She came out the other side. She originally tried. Maybe the first time she tried, it doesn't work. Some people on the first try go, I knew this wasn't for me, I'm out. And that's okay if that's the way you feel. But the way I look at life, and this has nothing to do with self-education, it has to do with everything, the philosophy I teach my children, is God, the universe, whatever you believe in, I believe in God. I believe we all have a certain amount of things that we have to go through to get to where we want to be, right? We try, people let you down. Your husband you thought was going to believe in you, he doesn't. Or a friend lets you down. And you've tried with a partner and they stopped working. Or something went sideways and you lost your job, so you had to go back. I believe we have to pay that tax. And when we look back, in Tony's words, that life happens for us, not to us, I believe we have to overcome those obstacles and keep moving forward. And some people might have to go through 5 failures to get to the level of success you want. Unfortunately, some of you might have to go through 20. But is it worth it? I mean, I guess that's the question we all have to ask ourselves. Life's going to happen no matter what. The way I look at it is I'm still going to find frustration in my life. Things are still going to go sideways. People are still going to let me down. You're going to have bad days. So if I'm going to deal with that crap anyway, then I want to go after the thing that lights up my life, that gives me freedom, that gives me control, allows me to make my own decisions. Listen, everybody has their reason of what success is, right? I've been blessed to have a lot of things. Success to me right now is every day. Every day my older children are with me. I have them every other week. Every day I pick them up from school. Every day I take them to school. Every day I make them lunch. Every time my kids practice, I'm with them. I've been catching from my daughter's practice for 7 years, twice a week. That's success to me, that I can make decisions to do what I want, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. Next weekend, they're off a little bit. We're going to jump on a plane and we're going to go away. Those things are so important to me because those of you who have children that are older now, you know what I'm saying. My daughter's 15, my son's 13, the older ones. I have a little 20-month-year-old too. But my older ones, I see their independence growing. I did a good job. They're like birds getting ready to fly out of the nest. It is wrecking my soul and my heart while simultaneously I'm so happy for them. It is the craziest emotion no one could have ever explained. I'm so glad they're independent and strong, and simultaneously I want my little girl back who runs up with pigtails and says, "I love you, Dad." I want both at the same time. But I want the control to know when my daughter calls me like she did yesterday and says, "Dad, can we go get Starbucks?" I don't care. If she called me right now and said wanted Starbucks, I might run out of here because I have that opportunity to be in control of my time. And I'm not missing any of it because she's going to go off to college and have her own life and it'll be amazing, but I want time. And for me, that is priceless. I will pay whatever success tax I have to. I will overcome hurdles. I will jump, like Treste was saying, I'll jump at 30,000 feet and grow wings on the way down. I'll do whatever it takes to fight for what is important to me. At this phase of my life, I love serving others. I don't know if you could tell, I enjoyed every bit of this today. I enjoy at the Impact Accelerator Live. You'll see 3 days of complete immersion with this same energy through the entire time. I love what I do. I love my team. I love my wife. And I love being a dad. Pretty much gets my time. And I get to make the decision to do what I want, when I want, because I put in the time, because I learned from other people, because I took uncomfortable action. So that's where we are today. Today was an amazing 3 days. Thank you, or 3 hours. Thank you for spending this time with us. We went a little bit long. Please give it up for our special guests that came in and shared their time. But this is the part we're at right now, though. Is this can be the end of a cool 3 hours, or it can be the beginning of us working together. I hope I delivered enough today for you to say, pretty cool, Dean. What's next? What's next is if we intrigued you in any way. I know so many of you already have a ticket, but if you don't, I'd love for you to come to Impact Accelerator Live. It's so reasonably priced, it's ridiculous. It's not just the ticket. We're going to do some training that starts next Thursday. And I think if you liked what we had today, you'll have the opportunity to have this from now all the way till March 4th, 5th, and 6th when we go live, and see for yourself how you can create the blueprint. So let me go through it really quick right now. I'm going to take just 2 minutes. But Impact Accelerator Live. I have to scroll back here. Hold on. Let's go through this. Could you put this up on the screen, Mike? So Impact Accelerator Live, it's happening March 4th, 5th, and 6th. Put that date down. Day one is design or refine your high ticket. This is going to be me, my top coaches, and amazing trainers that you saw what we did for Mastermind event. This is all about crafting that high ticket with confidence. Day two will be how to sell it. If you liked what I did in 15 minutes, imagine a whole day of crafting your plan on how to sell it and how to find the people to talk to. Day three will be about delivering a high ticket with confidence. This is a ticket that should be $597. You get that. You get materials that will mail you so we can take the real world into the virtual world. You'll get 3 trainings that are going to happen within the 3 days before, which we shared earlier. I'm going to go back to this final and you're going to get this event-only bonus, which is 3 weeks of training that starts next Thursday. This is deep dive immersive training. So you get all of that for $297. Yes, it's a crazy price. And here's what I'm going to share with you. Yes, I did this training today to provide value, to have some of you get to know me and understand what my depth of knowledge is, and also provide value to say, hey, I want to continue to work with you. Know that we only do this event 1 time a year, and this is our first one. This is it. Like, if you miss this one, it's not like we do it again in 3 months or 6 months or a year. There's other programs, there's Project Next and things like that, but for the price, it's unbelievable what we're doing. It only happens once. Secondly, yes, this is urgency. This price does go up. So a couple days you come back to this page, that price will be higher, and the training that starts next Thursday will be gone. So we create a special price to create the urgency to say, I like today, you delivered value, Dean, let's go all in. And I'd like to invite you to go all in. If this industry is not for you, then thanks for spending this time with me. But if it is, you're gonna have to learn from somebody. You're gonna have to have somebody coach you, guide you through the tough parts. And if you're gonna have someone coach you, I'd love it to be us. So that's the opportunity you have today. If you could pull the mastermind ticket, write that down, because a lot of times people say, I'll just do it later, and then you forget. It's mastermindticket.com. You'll see there's a special page just for this. Guys, thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for playing full out. So many of you, thousands and thousands of you spent the full time. I see all your beautiful messages. It's been an amazing day. This is the first time I've ever done this type of 3-hour. This will be the first time with Impact Accelerator Live. And we're so happy to have so many of you. If you're in, I'd love for you to share I'm in. Oh, I know we're giving away some stuff too, right? Do we have? Okay, yeah. We're giving away some prizes. Almost forgot. So when we're done here, though, I'm going to give away some cool prizes. We're going to give away an Impact Accelerator ticket. We're going to give away a laptop, and we're going to give away some books and some cool stuff. And then we have some VIP. But here's what I'd say. How cool would it be to go to bed tonight knowing you reserved your spot for this? And then what I'm going to ask you to do is decide to go all in. Don't show up and dabble, right? Show up ready to play full out. Don't come to the event and watch for a few minutes. Like, let's go all in, because at the end of those 3 days, you could say to yourself, I'm all in, or maybe it's not for you. I doubt it'll be the latter of the two. And I love Einstein's quote, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. If you're ready for a different result, we'd love to deliver to you at Impact Accelerator Live. Okay, so one person that doesn't have to buy a ticket because you played full out and my team chose these winners, not me, is Laura Bahina. Laura Bahina, you are winning a VIP ticket to Impact Accelerator Live. Way to go, Laura. Let's give away a signed Underdog Advantage book. Lori Rowe, you're getting a book, Underdog Advantage. I'll sign a copy, write you a personal note. My book, Millionaire Success Habits. This is what the team has. Ladina Wood, you played full out. And then this last person has played full out since the beginning. In fact, I got the blessing of watching him play full out. I didn't see the rest of you. My team must have. You're getting a laptop to use for your business. It'll be a pretty cool one. And that is Tony Mueller. Give it up for Tony Mueller. All right, guys. The event is March 4th, 5th, and 6th. The training starts next Thursday. It's the best price ever. I'd love for this to be the beginning of what's next for us. Go to mastermindticket.com, grab your ticket, and we'll see you there. And come back. We'll leave this open for about 10 minutes. Go get your ticket and write, I'm all in. And those of you that are for VIP, you hold out for 5 minutes. We'll be back for Q&A. Thanks, everybody.